all their lies and all the slander, try to mislead the people with their hate and all their evil. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The best thing that happened to this country is Carrot and the Labour Party. We wanna bring to blended by the waters. Labour Party shall not be moved. That's it. Jalala, no question, jalala, no question, jalala, no question, jalala. Everybody, touch on the red, wave it over your head. Jalala, no. All of them forget the current people. Labour stepping, they want to cause struggle. For the Kalinagos have no respect. Expecting them on the water project. Supreme Scotland used to work to Labour to build their seawall. Zero, they would have to back it. Water tank on Labour fix it. Whether you teach a leader, elder, must give credit to Labour. You better believe it. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Look out for we five-star hotel, highway to Posse as well. Seek public construction, roads modification. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that planted by the water, Labour Party shall not be moved. Dance up. Jala, no question, jala, no question, jala. Toss something red, wave them over your head. Some will never see the importance to give up for people assistance. So they have a problem with the clinic. Make sure say they want to block it. Imagine they get in office, what would be their wicked practice? Is for people who put you there, at all time you got to show you care. The party in a working mood, don't interrupt that mood. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. The government helping squatters to get their land and quarters, helping people, some of you have an issue. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. You better know Jala, you question Jala, you question Jala. Everybody, raise up something red, wave that over your head. Indeed, it is first time in our history people get medical for free. 18 and under and over 65. You shall never be deprived. Big focus on human resource, people well-being compass, universal education, scholarship and transportation. What a selfless party would invest our country. Yeah. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. We shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Oh, but what a brilliant stadium. The bridge and road all around, improvement on all road networks. Airport beauty is no joke. We shall not be, we shall not be, we shall not be moved. Just like the trees that's planted by the waters, Labour Party shall not be moved. Everybody, dancer, jala, no wasting, jala, no wasting, jala. Put up something red, rub it over your head. Hey, hey, everybody, jala, no wasting, jala, jala, no wasting, jala. Hey, Not yellow, not blue. Hey, let me see you shoot. Let me see you shoot. Show me how well you do. Jamla, Westy, Jalala. Raise up the red. Wave it over your head. Everybody! Jalala, Westy, Jalala. Jalala, Westy, Jalala. Everybody! Jalala, Jalala, Jalala.
Someone want to run the country, but they have no capability. So mind if you red, green or black, once you have Dominica at heart. Right now the country making progress, which mean our leader is very blessed, who behaving like the power possess. I believe they want to feather their nest. Well, let me run them. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way. If you really fight, you get burned. Housing and education revolution have been doing well for our nation. The past wasn't so pleasant, but I'm impressed with the present. And if we continue how we going, our students' loan money keep flowing. We'll be proud to be called Dominicans, to be the most educated people in the region. So let me speak now. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way. Keep the fire burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way. Monroe, how is Alicia doing? Regis, how is Erickson? I cannot trust Lennox Linton to be the leader of our nation. The progress that's on will all stop, and before it age they will fall short. In this hard economic time, we have no oil, copper, or gold mines. We need a leader to lead from the front, with the ability, skills to achieve the things we want. So let me tell you, keep the fire burning, keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way. Let me sing the chorus. Keep the fire burning, keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way. Paul Joe, spread the news around, man. vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way. Let me sing up. Keep the fire burning, burning. Keep the fire burning. Burn them with your vote on the election day. When you vote in a party, remember to vote the LP. Vote the Labour Party all the way.
Everybody could trust. A driver religious men endorse. So make sure your vote is counted. Labour Party is bound to succeed. Hey. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. A train for progress, fairness and success. The train is passing through. Love and humility in every community. The train is passing through. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Don't leave me down, I want to be there. Plenty red in the atmosphere. You ready, put your hands in the air. Ready and ready and ready and ready to do it again. In the sun or under the rain. Everyone on the Labour train. Ready and ready and ready and ready. Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump along if you on the train. Shout it out if you on the train. Whoa. Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump along if you on the train. Everyone on the Labour train, yeah. Great leadership is everything. So we ready to vote Scarrow and the party. We don't want that bogus driver to get in. So we ready to vote Scarrow and the party. To eradicate poverty. We take education seriously. We taking care of the poor and the needy. Cause they are part of the family. Hey. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cottage and Postman wash it. Bush and Fakers bash it. The train is passing through. Wesley and Marigot Fuawi, also the Carib territory. The train is passing through. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Car pushing the Scots head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing. Everybody ready? We ready. Don't move. Lord. Get up. Coming through. Make way. Ready. Ready. Labour cut over and therefore we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Roseau Central, Roseau North and South ready. Ready to vote back the LP. We going to transform Posse and Roseau. And we want the whole world to know. Coming from the struggle that we undergo. No Pakalaje PM Scarrow, no. Everybody wants shake on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Pushing the Scots head on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Cause and la plane. Grand for on board, no complaint. The train is passing through. With its Savannah and Grand Bay. La Puerta and Squad said okay. The train is passing through. Everybody branche on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Come push into Scott's head on the labor train. Labor train. Yes, the labor train. Sing. Everybody branche on the labor train. You hear the chorus? Sing the anthem. Roseau Valley, Roseau Central, Roseau South, Roseau North. Sing the anthem. Don't stop. Yeah, my people. I wanna hear you sing. Yes, the labor train. Young and old, sing the anthem. Sing the chorus. Labor train. Sing. Don't stop. That Sunday night, we passing through from village to village. You know what to do when you get to the poll. We vote in labor. Labor. Everybody say labor. Sing the anthem. Don't stop. I wanna hear your voices. Everybody sing. I'm ready. We're looking good. Down there. Everybody branche on the labor train. Yes, the labor train.
Confused by the opposition. The UWP is pure confusion. The leader buys votes at each convention. Is too much to mention. So I'm voting Labour.
I'm voting Labour.
On my ballot paper. Yes, I'm voting Labour. All the way. And so is my neighbor.
No doubt about it.
Yes, I'm voting Labour. And my finger will show it.
You ready, baby?
And if they don't like it, they can put it in their pipes. And they could smoke it. Yeah, baby.
C'est bon liba, mon ami wow.
When they ran this country, they almost broke it. Some wasted money, while others, they stole it. So I'm voting Labour on my ballot paper.
I'm voting Labour.
Yes, I'm voting Labour all the way, and so is my neighbor. Yes, I'm voting Labour.
You ready, baby?
And my finger will show it.
Oliba, Ramete, Tikwa, et si you by me, you permette, Pipio, et female.
Yes. Yo, ça mettez en dans pipio avec yo, ça filmé. Want to say a special good evening to you wherever you are joining us across Dominica to the north, south, east, and west coast of the beautiful nature island. A special good evening. Let me say a special welcome to our listeners in St. Lucia, St. Martin, Anguilla, St. Thomas, the folks who are joining us in the United States and Canada. I want to say good evening to you in Guadeloupe, Martinique, France. Bonsoir. Want to say a special good evening there to my little man there over in St. Lucia and my beautiful madam there, of course, joining us this evening. And I know he is tuned in. So good evening to you, Simi. Of course, want to shout out a few folks. I want to say good evening there to Mr. Monroe. I hope you are doing good, my brother. I want to shout out Zenburg Hostel. Good evening to you. And I want to say a special good evening there to Annette Bates up there in Wallhouse. A special good evening to you, Annette. Also want to say a special good evening there to Desi and family up there in the east coast of the island, Dailies, and to Mr. Evelyn, Mr. Barron. A special good evening to you all. My brother Awa and Mikey Etienne. Hope everybody, entire Etienne family, everybody's keeping good. Of course, it's a very rainy day today, and I hope that the weather is not causing any damage on this side of the island. So I want to shout out the folks in La Plaine and Bouedica, and I want to say good evening there to Mont John and Grand Fond and Rivière Siwick. A special good evening there to all the folks in the Kalinago territory. Hope you all are keeping safe in the Cassie Bruce area. A special big up to you all. I want to shout out the folks in South City, Grand Bay. Big up there to Guan Bay. Sakafet Oswela. All the Petit Savant folks up there in Bellevue, the Bacatel, Font Saint-Jean, and want to say good evening there to Soufrier, Scott said, Gallion, all the folks in Newton, Citroën, Point Michel. A special good evening there to Ria up there in Kings Hill. Mommy, good evening to you and hope you are keeping good there. I want to say good evening there and special big up there to the folks in Roseau Central. Yeah, man. I want to big up Nadia Karam and Paula Azil, Josephine Charles, and John Baptist, all the folks who are joining us. And always there, good evening to Lauren Binwa and all the folks who are Francis Hilton, of course, Brenda Loda. Good evening to you all. And it's always a pleasure to see you all. I'm always there for so very early on, of course, the Next Level page, somewhere where you can always view this program live in case you, of course, have your internet, and you can always tune in and view the program live and contribute towards the discussion as we are having the discussion. I want to say good evening to Dr. Skerriton family and to all of the cabinet ministers and senators, all the folks in Roseau Central. Good evening again. Good evening to Fokole. I want to say good evening there to Santa Roma, yeah, man, and the folks who are always in Pottersville. Good evening there to you. And what about Kenfield? How are you doing there this evening over there in Kenfield? I want to say good evening to Susanna over there in Yanda. Tijo, Mr. and Mrs. Tavernier up there in Mont Daniel. Good evening to you all. And our Tijo in Benawavin. And all the folks, DJ Bones, my brother, good evening to you. And family Rufan over there in Housing Scheme. Yeah, man, big up to you there. And all Tessa, what's up, Tessa? Good evening, yeah, man, to you and family. And to all the folks who are joining us in Massac, want to say good evening to you in Maho, in Campbell Road, Despo. Want to say good evening to Campbell and all the folks in Warner. And, of course, Taru, good evening to you in Miro and St. Joseph. Yeah, good evening to all the folks who are joining us over there in Layu. What about the folks who are joining us in Salisbury, Kulibi Street, Morton Ratchet? I want to say good evening to you. Zetma over there in Colio, a special good evening to you. And not forgetting all the folks in the Roseau Valley. Yeah, man, big up to you all there. Cochrane and Mount Prosper, Wharton, Waven, Trafalgar, Loda. Good evening to you. And all the folks in Posse Massive. Good evening. Yeah, man. All the folks who are joining us in Granville. Yeah, good evening to you. And all the folks in the Cottage constituency. But I have my guys here in studio with me this evening. I want to say good evening there and welcome, Carissa. Good evening to you, my brother. Good evening.
Good evening, Simi. Good evening, Clarence. It's a very rainy night, man.
I like the weather.
You say I put on a serious coat, you know, because it was
you look like
pouring.
You're in Canada, man. You know, somebody sent me a picture of Canada this afternoon of their window. I want to big up all the folks, all of our listeners in Canada, always joining us. So let me tell you something, my brother. No fridge not cold like that.
Life is sweet in Dominica. Life is sweet in Dominica. I want to say good evening to our listening public. I want to say good evening to Dr. Skerritt and his family, and of course, all our parliamentary representatives and caretakers across the country. I want to say good evening to you in a very special way. Of course, I want to say good evening to the good folks in Marigot and Concord, especially shouting out the Georges family and the Laron family, the Riviere family. Good evening to you all. And, of course, our sister Lynn. I know you're tuned in. Good evening, my friend. And, of course, Pauline and Marie-Claude and the others down at Melvin Hall, and my brother Garmon James at Sam's got always keeping the block in tune.
Yes, right.
So I say this guy take red paint.
Yeah.
And they say the boy paint up the block.
Oh,
you swear
lad.
to God, Marigot will be the first seat to be declared, you know.
For labor. The guy's not joking.
Boy, the fella's not joking at all. And I suspect this time around, they're coming on board heavy.
Respect to that.
Yeah,
Respect
so
to that.
big up the guys from Sam Gutter. And of course, we want to move on to our friends over there at Wesley. Simeon, that international airport coming on nicely. I hear somebody wanted to stop. Boy, can you imagine in a time like now, when we're supposed to be pushing full speed ahead, somebody's calling for to stop the international airport.
I know your fellas camping outside the quarry, you know, up in thing there.
Well, you should have brought a red tent for them, man. Let them man and relax themselves.
I hear fellas camping.
Yeah, but you should have gotten a red tent for
Camping
them.
outside there, we boy.
But I want to big up all our friends from Wesley and Woodford Hill and Palm Tree, and of course our friends in Calibishi. Sister Meredith, my friend down there, was a good evening to you, and all the other folks in the Calibishi area. Friends in Benz, big up to our pal rep down there. Sister Lakia Joseph, she never misses a Calypso show, boy. Look a lady that like Calypso.
Yes, I.
Big up my friend. Of course, our friends down in Hans de Mea Solder, Bon, and Clarence' favorite spot there in Belmanier. I want to say all the folks in Belmanier, we want to say good evening to you in a special way. Our friends in Thibault, Vegas, Penville, down Portsmouth, Lagore, our friends over in Cotton Hill. I want to say good evening to you in a very special way. And my friends down at Tatton and Clifton and Capuchin, and my favorite area. What's my favorite area, Simeon?
Kukuye.
Kukuye. My friend down in Kukuye, it's a good evening to you in a special way. And of course, all the others who are joining us on the platform tonight, Senior Counsel, Senior Minister, and all our other friends, Lloydie and the others, once a good evening to you. My friend Mami, please continue to pray for me. But hey, I need prayers now. A lot of prayers, Mami. So I want to say good evening to you and Tante. Boy, I don't want to forget Tante tonight. So good evening to you in a very, very, very special way. And look forward to having a very good program tonight where we continue to talk about the issues. We continue to debunk the misinformation that is out there, and of course to present you with the truth and nothing but the truth.
My brother Clarence Sakafet Gasser.
I cool, Simeon. I cool. Had a very, very good weekend. You know, we had a program on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I followed it.
Okay. Yeah, so things okay. Let me say hello to my Prosper sisters. I'm feeling a little shame I haven't passed by you for the new year, but anyway, you know, this is my very busy period, so anytime I'll drop by and see you all. Let me say good evening to Mr. Wallace. I give him a surprise visit on Saturday, Simeon. I was in Portsmouth. Early morning, I went down to Portsmouth to do something, and then while I there, I just say, let me go down Clifton. On the spur of the moment.
Yes, I.
Let me go down Clifton. So I go up Clifton. So I went up there to just see him spend about 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. He wanted to hold me longer, but I had to go. So good night everyone. Good night IL. Good night my friends in Soufriere, Pichelin. Good night to everyone. Bellevue, Janet and Bernadette. Good night to you all. Let me say good night to Mr. Monroe up there. Always listening. I hope you're doing okay. I mean, anytime I'll drop and see you. Let me say good night to my aunt in Pichelin. Good night to you. Good night to you all. And Jimmy. Good night, everyone. Granby. Happy New Year. Let me say Happy New Year to Teacher Willie. And Happy New Year to Teacher Maddie and Teacher Annie. That's Ed's mom. And Clavis. mighty luck. I must come up Granby again to give you a check. Good night to you, and good night and happy New Year. Let me say good night to a friend I haven't seen in a while, but boy, I've been so busy. At living in Belfast from Pishland, that is Roland Henderson. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. Happy New Year. I feeling ashamed that I haven't passed by you in a while now. So, but anytime I'll just surprise you. So good evening to you and good evening to everyone. Let me say hello to Monzi in Canada. Monzi, I understand it is very, very cold out there. You cannot even get out of the house. And husband, and Norma and Carlton Regis. Good evening to you all. And Francis Hilton, always on Facebook. You should be on by now. And Yvonne and the children. Good evening to you guys up there in Toronto. Special good evening to these guys. And Monjuri and all my friends up there on Hillsborough Street. And Peggy. Good evening to you. And Matthew down there in Kinfield. And all the persons who normally meet me and tell me, my friends in Collyhoo, good evening to you. Mr. Peter, we had a good little time on Saturday down there in Collyhoo by the bar. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone
All right,
in Collyhoo, Zetma and the rest, and the crew, good evening. In Dublin, Wapi, special good evening to you guys. Saturday evening to you guys.
You know, I just reading something there. Someone said Simeon upstate New York is in deep freeze. Yeah, the temperature now is at 7.33. It's 12 degrees going down to 7 degrees overnight. Yes, well, you know it is already. Dominica have the sun, we have the rain, and it's either the sun or the rain. Yeah, man. So, we you get used to that. All right, Clarence, thank you, and welcome, Clarence, welcome, Carissa, and welcome to all the listeners and all the folks who are joining us this evening, whether you're in your vehicle or you're just home relaxing. I want to say good evening to you. And, of course, Mommy, you can always give us a call now. It's 8:37. Give us the prayer early before we start the discussion there. 4487-337, the number you can call, 4487-338. You can also reach us on 245-2929, the numbers you can always call to reach us. But, Carissa, I have a bad song there. I haven't heard it yet, but they tell me the song good.
I even hear the song is playing on a chat. It's on a chat in Trinidad, and it has not been played in Dominica.
But you don't play in Dominica. What kind
I
of
have not heard it.
Tell me you don't hear this song yet. But the a starter thing you don't know about,
But I have not heard it.
Say you haven't heard it, but you cannot say you don't play in Dominica. You hear it like the way it was. We had this song. My, it's not the same thing. Clarence boy, let me play that.
The Twinny hen went out of the pen, came back with a rooster from America. As the bully reached, he began to preach, and he come with he covering them. He tackling dog, he tackling cat, he tackling anything. Even some jackass surrender to him. Now the Venezuelan cop suddenly get caught. They taking cook mad, look, never in the yard. And they're singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You're striking so hard, no pity for she backyard, Lord. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoot, shoot. Now he start to beat us. Now he start to squeeze us. Shoot, shoot. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this. We don't want this. This never in the yard. Oh, Milado.
Yeah, that is the man Carissa himself.
The Bajan hen started to fall, but she just stand. This rooster of his might. He think he right, and taking advantage is his delight. He roots for incest, anyone resist, he go be catastrophic. And the penalty, just get rid of him. All them little cock-a-doodle can't even say shoo. Cause they go regret if they get the rooster upset. And we singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard.
But Carson, who is the rooster now?
Get out of the yard, rooster.
I mean, see.
Hard, no pity for she backyard, Lord. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoo, shoo. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoo, shoo. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. This never in the yard. Oh, my lord, oh.
So the hen from Trinidad, but the cock from where, USA?
He bring a rooster from America.
Oh, Lord. Boy, let me tell you something. Tell the hen, let me see, but we will call us in the prayer. Good evening on the telephone. Yes, caller, we waiting for you for the prayer. Leave the hen and the rooster alone. Talk to us.
We need to pray of you in the house tonight.
Yes, mommy.
Good night.
So I pray to the Almighty God. May the Almighty continue to bless, guide, protect, and direct all of you. And we say to them, rooster, get out of the yard. And let us continue to pray for our Prime Minister, the leader of this country. He was chosen by God. And may the Almighty Father continue to hold his hands and walk with him throughout the darkest night and the brightest day. His wife, his children, his parents, his in-laws, and all members of the cabinet, the senators, and all labor rights there and abroad. Continue to pray, and let us pray to get out them roosters from the yard. Pray always, and God will continue to guide and protect us. And I cover everyone with the most precious blood of the Lamb of God. And I cover the Prime Minister in a special way from the crown of his head to the sole of his feet. The Father has chosen him to be the leader of this country, and he's doing a fantastic job. At a young age, oh my goodness, this man lifts up Dominica. He was sinking under the waters, but the Father helped him to take us out from that raging storm, and he's standing firm. Let us give thanks to the Almighty. Let us glorify his name. Let us thank him always. And I say to the angel, powerful angel in heaven, who drove the demon from heaven to the deepest pit of hell, to defend the Prime Minister and his entire family. Defend Dominica and all labor rights. Defend my family, my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Defend us in that. Be our protection and guard against the ways and the wickedness of the devil. May God rebuke them, I humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, drag down into hell Satan and all his evil spirits who's prowling through this land, seeking the ruin of souls. God is in control of this country. He's the Prime Minister. And let us praise and thank the Almighty Father. And let us bless him, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I ask you, the Holy Spirit, to cover my Prime Minister with the fire of his divine love and to cover us. We need him. We need Jesus. We need the Holy Spirit. And if we pray with faith, us because He has promised to take care of us if we pray. So let us give thanks to the Almighty. Let us glorify Him. Let us honor Him. I am like in cold. Since this afternoon, I put a sweater, my stocking, and how much clothes I cover. Cold, I am cold like that.
Yeah, man.
God for Dominica. And God bless every one of us.
Bless you too, mommy.
Right in America, take care of yourselves.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Bless you all. I am listening.
All right, bless you too, mommy. Talk to you a little later there. Of course, to those of you who are asking me whether we can get the volume of the callers up a little bit, we apologize for, how low the volume is. Kyrie's, as I've been told, is working on that problem. We acknowledge that the calls are coming in low, and but they're working on resolving it. So hopefully very soon we will have that fix up. All right. So we do apologize for when we raise the volume too high, it gets distorted, and so we have to work with what we have for the time being. All right. But we look forward to management at Kyrie working on the concern, and they're aware of it, and they are working on getting it resolved. So we hope that can be done very soon. Thank you again, Mami. Thank you for your call. And yes, so gentlemen, it's already 8:46 in the evening, and we have quite a bit on our schedule there to deal with tonight. And of course, I want to play something there before we really start our discussion here tonight, because there is something about our country where it seems to me in Dominica, some people are hell-bent on not even accepting when something is real. Listen to this here, people. I want you to listen to this. A recent decision taken by the government of Dominica.
The establishment of an agricultural land lease facility targeting young and land-constrained farmers. The facility makes good on government's 2025-2026 budget commitment to make a minimum of 300 acres of state land available exclusively for agricultural use across multiple locations island-wide. Under the program, parcels ranging from 1 to 5 acres will be leased at $1 per acre per annum for the first 5 years, with the option to renew based on continued agricultural use. Here is Minister for Lands, Honorable Melissa Popoan-Skerritt.
A pupil surveyor will be engaged on contract as an agricultural land lease technician. This officer will manage applications, conduct surveys, oversee lease administration, monitor compliance, maintain a land use database, and serve as secretary to the Technical Advisory Committee. Eligibility will require active involvement in agriculture or a viable production proposal, registration as a farmer, a valid produce seller's license, and compliance with Social Security requirements. This initiative is about boosting agricultural production, empowering our young people, strengthening food security, and driving sustainable rural economic development. Government remains committed to creating real opportunities for our farmers and ensuring that agriculture continues to play a central role in Dominica's development.
Meanwhile, Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Roland Royer, described the facility as a major opportunity for young farmers seeking to enter the sector.
We are happy that the establishment of this land lease facility will make state-owned lands available under structured, transparent, and secure leasing agreements, allowing young farmers and agro-entrepreneurs to plan, invest, and scale production with confidence. By reducing uncertainty around land tenure, this initiative is expected to unlock private investment and accelerate the adoption of improved technologies and climate-resilient production systems. This policy is a central component of government's broader strategy to expand agricultural output, strengthen food security, and position agriculture as a major driver of economic growth in line with the national target of having the sector contribute $700 million to GDP by 2030.
Yes, gentlemen. Tonight I want us to discuss that a bit. I followed, the announcement was made recently, and it seems to me that since that announcement was made, those who advocate on behalf of the UWP cannot stand themselves. I listened to the radio today, and it was quite frustrating listening to those guys, because here it is, the government, as we can hear, put in place for a system where farmers, persons who are interested and interested, young farmers in particular, who the government is trying to target, has put a system in place where they can lease a parcel of land, 1 to 5 acres, at $1 per annum. And instead of some of those people in the UWP saying thanks God for that decision of the government, because a lot of times people cannot afford to buy the land, but there are 300 acres of land that the Ministry of Agriculture has identified that can be allocated for the purpose of production within the agricultural sector. So for the young people who their relatives didn't have land, or they did not have land, the government is saying to them, here is an opportunity for you to employ yourself, engage yourself, and get involved in cultivating the land. We know that the government have invested significantly in the agricultural station to make sure that the propagation of plants and various citruses and other things, cocoa and just name it, that they can have it available to the farmers. And an opportunity is being created right there. And 300 acres of land is, I mean, a healthy amount of land. But what I heard today was a crying down of that policy. And I ask myself, what would a UWP government want to see in Dominica? Because if, as a party, a political party, whatever is left of the political party, that the best they can do is to criticize the fact that the government took a decision, and to me there is nothing to criticize, to make available the land at $1 per acre. They are preaching against it, criticizing it. Literally, if a young person was listening to them on Q95 today, I mean, they didn't motivate them in any way to get positive, do anything positive. It was a whole... I don't want to play what they were saying on the radio today, because it stressed me out just listening to them. But I had to listen, because sometimes it's good to listen to see where their mindset is. But gentlemen, I believe it's this idea that they want to come and say today that, after 25 years, this government coming with that now, like as if the young people should not adhere to the call, like they should not apply, they should not show any interest in it. And I'm saying to myself, Dominicans have to remember the history that we came out when the Labour Party came in, what happened to the agricultural sector under the UWP. I heard them boasting about how agriculture is doing so well, so well under the days of UWP, and we had this, we had that, the agricultural sector was bankrupt. It seems like some of them people have memoir pool. When the Labour Party took power, the agricultural sector was bankrupt. This is one of the reasons why DBMC, the government had to take over DBMC. They had to take over the debt of the farmers. The government, having taken over the debt, the millions of dollars that was being owed, didn't abandon the farmers. And I'm talking about Thompson Fontaine, and how Thompson Fontaine have if you want to get your farm up, you have to get Thompson Fontaine elected, because it's like the UWP have and Thompson Fontaine have the master plan for agriculture. And I'm saying to myself, what make UWP have the master plan for agriculture? Because when the DBMC went bankrupt and the Labour Party came in under Rosie Douglas and took over the debt of the company, the Labour Party didn't stop there. The Labour Party went into Parliament and passed law that would give rise to a new company. A new company that the farmers would own themselves. I always felt that was one of the best thing that the Labour Party had done for the farmers. A company where the farmers would not only sell their produce to the company, but that the farmers would also be shareholders of the company. And not only would the farmers be shareholders of the company, but persons who were non-farmers at all would have the opportunity to be able to invest in that company. What happened to the company today? Where is it? Where is the company UWP? Or you control it while the Labour Party is running the country? For many years, the UWP felt the company that was formed by this government belonged to them. And they controlled it. The only political party that controlled the farmers' company called DAPEX was the UWP. They didn't want nobody else to sit on the board. And what did they do? Ask Daniel Luge about it. Because they sent it bankrupt. They sent a company. Let me tell you something. If you had bring 2 containers of fertilizer today, it's selling off today. We input selling, everything selling, but the company can't make profit under them. So they kill it. They send it bankrupt. They let the farmers lose all their investment, including those within the private sector. And then what happens after that? The same sticky finger Fountain and Daniel Luge find themselves doing huckstering. Because they said that the same company, they shut it down, you know. But they saw that there is market outside there. So they go into taking the farmers' produce and say they doing huckstering, selling it because they have market. Ask them what happened to that. Ask them how did that work out. Why is it that they could not continue with it? Why is it that it didn't become a great success story? Because Thompson is now posing by private people who have their little farm under labor, growing their dashing and pretending like as if that is what you go in and see on the... So the UWP history is that of destroying farmers in this country, not helping farmers to grow. No. Maria came, destroyed every single thing we had in this country. I hear them say, Labour never helped farmers. When the hurricane hit us, Messier, Dr. Skerritt went and negotiated from the World Bank a grant to assist the farmers of this country, giving farmers from fishermen down to those who never owned boat, but they were controlling the boat of another person, but they were out of a job because of what happened during Maria. Those who were cultivating their farms and had several acreage. And people were being given at the aid bank, over at the aid bank, there, $5 free $10,000 based on how much acres of land they had, or whether they had a fishing boat and it got damaged, they lost it. What did the UWP do after Hurricane Maria? Instead of coming and saying, boy, that's a good thing the government doing because they're giving a little money to the farmers so that the farmers can go back and cultivate their farm. What did they do? Go on radio, criticize the program that was assisting the grant money, millions of dollars that was being placed in the hands of the farmers of this country so that they could go back and cultivate their farm. What did they do? They went on public radio and criticized the program. even went as far as writing to the World Bank to tell the World Bank that there is unfair practice going on in the distribution of the money, with no evidence of any unfair practice, but attempting to spoil the program that the farmers were benefiting from. They left Dominica after Maria. According to Lennox Linton, they went to the Polisario. They had many boats of whatever it is they had coming, Nupokaway. But the Labour Party went to the World Bank. Our leader went to the World Bank and came back and assisted the farmers with grant money, not loan. Grant money so that they could go back and cultivate the farm. As a result of that, we have seen today that our market have lots of produce. You can see farmers selling their stuff. As part of the program, the government decided that it is going to put a policy in place now, because there is a target set by the government to allow the farmers to produce so that we can meet that $700 million by 2030. And gentlemen, instead of these people, if you don't have nothing good to say, just don't say nothing. But you cannot go trying to discourage people, trying to criticize that policy, because I cannot see anything that could be better than that. And Clarence, I mean, I don't know. I'm asking myself, what is it that will happen in Dominica that these so-called people within the UWP will not criticize Clarence?
Simeon, good evening again to the listeners. I listened to some of it, but it was just pathetic. Really, really. This was a pathetic display of ignorance that was going on there. Simeon, I already tell people, when we come on radio, we don't give people anecdotal data. We tell what is in our head. We not say what is in our head. We talk the evidence. We give you the evidence and the facts. I research the facts. I give you the facts. They keep on saying under this government agriculture is dead and why is no and things so. Simeon, when this let me tell Dominicans, when this government came into office in 2000, agriculture was producing $122 million to GDP. That is in 2000. $122 million to GDP. And you can research it, you can go Google it. Google contribution to agriculture to GDP. In 2000, agriculture was producing $122 million to GDP. By 2016, agriculture was contributing $284 million EC dollars to GDP. 284 million EC dollars. When Hurricane came in, when Hurricane Maria came in and we had everything mashed up, agriculture in 2018, agriculture contributed $84 million, went down from 284, no, it's $73 million to GDP. That was in after the hurricane in 2026, something. So agriculture was destroyed from 284 million to 74 million to GDP. That is in 2018. No, I have, okay. I'm giving, by 2016, I'm correct. 2016, agriculture was producing $284 million to GDP. That is the year before the hurricane. By 2017, agriculture had gone down after the hurricane to produce $68 million to GDP. That was it. 68 million. In 2023, Simeon, 2023. That is how many years later? As
Yeah. From 18?
Yeah, from 18. My arithmetic is a little bad those days. That is 5 years.
5 years.
Later.
5 years, yeah.
5 years later, agriculture was contributing $200 million to GDP. 5 years after Hurricane Maria, agriculture was contributing $200 million to GDP. In 2024, agriculture contributed 84.6 million US dollars. That is $229 million to GDP. So it is growing back.
Yeah.
From the devastation of Hurricane Maria, agriculture is growing back. They don't give you, they just go out and just talk their nonsense and sometimes I am forced to listen because I want to come and contribute to this spell. But sometimes it is sad that you're listening to those type of nonsense and those type of no data, no empirical data. Just go out there talking agriculture is dead and things so. Simeon, as you said, when this government came into office, DBMC, we were basically a banana place. A banana. DBMC was bankrupt. They killed DBMC under UWP. It was dead. The very same persons who talking there today, they killed DBMC. Over $40 million in debt in both banks, NBD and Royal Bank and Scotia Royal Bank, in debt. The government had to take over the debt and take over all the assets of the BMC. Take over the debt. Simeon.
Yes.
When they could not, they formed DAPEX. Is DAPEX they were calling it?
Yeah, DAPEX, yeah, the government.
The government went and formed DAPEX, and then the UWP take control of it. They killed that. They killed that. So right now, Simeon, you have a lot of young persons. Some of, not only young persons who are not working, some of them are medical doctors, some of them are engineers, some are architects, some are teachers, young persons.
Young professionals.
Young professionals.
Right.
Who want to go into agriculture. This is what is happening. Young professionals, they come back, they study. You have a doctor, Dr. George, I think he's one of the biggest, he's a surgeon, one of the biggest poultry producers in Dominica now. So the professionals now want to go into agriculture, but they're not going into agriculture what was happening in 2000 and 1998. Those persons going into agriculture, high tech. Simeon.
Yeah.
So they want land. Those professionals want land, and the government is prepared to give them land to work.
At $1.
At $1.
Per annum.
So imagine a medical doctor, an engineer who has his own job, but he wants to go into farming. He may want to go into poultry. He may want to go into pig rearing. He want to go in hydroponics, doing lettuce alone, or whatever it is he wants to do. And he will use the technology available to produce. So the government decide, okay, I'm going to give all those young professionals, man or woman, 300 acres of land to make them available for those younger persons. And you find there is an issue with that.
Oh, after 25 years.
After 25 years, there's an issue.
No
with
labor
that.
coming with that. Carissa, I mean, you know, it's ridiculous. I mean,
come on. Where are we heading to, Simeon? We are in the brains of the people of the United Workers' Party.
No, Karen's missing that. I mean, clearly, the way they're going about criticizing things, it seems to me that UWP doesn't have any policy. It's clear that UWP doesn't have any. They talk about agriculture. They give agriculture lip service. But UWP doesn't have no plan for agriculture. And let me just read this comment there because this one is saying here, Simeon, you make no sense. DAPEX died under Labour. How can you blame UWP? If Labour was really interested in DAPEX, government would have they claim that government would have taken over. Well, let me just
let me answer this guy.
Okay, Clarence, we'll give you the answer for me.
Let me just give you this guy. I was director of audit then. They were selling produce. Selling produce to things. They were owing farmers. But a certain quantity, certain farmers were getting paid. To the point where they were selling fertilizer, they could not buy fertilizer again after they sell it. If you sell it, but the money should be in a revolving fund, Simeon.
Yes.
So when they did not have money and they wanted to continue, let me tell the caller what the government did, under Labour did. Labour Party approved $800,000 for DAPEX. The then financial secretary said, okay, we cannot give them all the $800,000, and I supported it as director of audit, to give them $400,000, Simeon. That is nothing, you know. So they gave DAPEX, the government of Dominica, took from the treasury and gave DAPEX $400,000 to serve as a revolving fund to buy farmers' produce. For 1 year, they bought farmers' produce and they did not have more money. So the money should be in a revolving fund, but there was no revolving fund. So they come back to the government now asking for the additional $400,000. Both the then financial secretary and the director of audit, who was me, said, we need to do an audit of how they spent the $400,000. So we asked them, we will not ask them in them for their names, you know, just tell us how many pounds of dasheen, how many pounds of bananas, how many, this is all we wanted to know. And in what district you bought it and things so, and who you sold it to, and what happened to the revenue you collected from the sales of those things. How many bags of fertilizer you imported, and who you, and the sales of those things. Simple, basic thing we were asking for. Simeon, the company died and they never give us that information, so they did not get the additional $400,000.
So, in other words, they did not account.
They did not account for the first $400,000 that the money was taken and given to them in from the treasury. So the caller, you see, this is why this is what happens when people do not.
No, Clarence, I should add to that further because remember, before they shut down the company, yours truly was serving on the board. I had the privilege having appointed as the government director on the board. And my observations while sitting on the board was that the UWP had some insider trading.
Yep.
Very, very strong and powerful insider trading going on in that company. They did not want anybody who they figure was not UWP to serve on the board of the company. That was one of the first things they didn't want. So they were fighting a war against shareholders. Shareholders, you know, who invested their money in the company. During that year I served on the company, over $1.9 million in stocks were unaccounted for. Over $1.9 million. The auditor reported on that. They couldn't give an explanation as to where the stock go, who take it, where it was, but the same people they're working every day. Because it's UWP people, they have left, right, and center inside there. When the year that I served on the board came to an end, they wanted to make sure that the government didn't reappoint me. Because I was like Christophine on the board. I was too afouillant, you know, asking too many questions. I want to know what's going on there, what's going on there. And let me tell you something. I learned something about those people in UWP that were serving on that board. They were all about themselves. They were not about looking out for farmers. And I learned that. Because sitting with them and listening to them, I got to the point where I told them, if that is how all you thinking at that level, I'm sorry for the farmers. And that is why when I served on the board during that year, we were able to get the Dashing program back up and running. Not UWP. It was I who pushed them. And if we go back in the archive on the next level, we will find where the general manager came on the next level to promote the Dashing program because they had a contract then. But they were failing the farmers. They were more concerned about if the farmers grow the crop and they lose the market, what's going to happen? I said, that's what all you're thinking about? Get the farmers to plant. But UWP were not interested in that. They were just interested in using the company to their advantage. And that's why the first time I ever saw a person steal election is Edison James, you know. Serious, I see Edison James for the election, cat blush, in broad daylight, in front of everybody in Marigot. And you know how he did it? When the AGM was held for that company, for the UWP sake, I'm saying it, Crazy T, God bless his soul, and Max Roy, who were major shareholders too of the company, realized these two fellas, they invested from their business, into the company, you know. We went to Marigot. When we came to select the board, we decided we wanted to change the board of directors because we were not satisfied and comfortable with how the UWP was managing the company. So when it came for the time to vote the directors, I decided I wanted to vote by the secret ballot. Edison James took the mic and he went up front on the podium and asked that the members vote by a show of the finger. Because, you know, the other gang inside there, they could show it. So I opposed it at the meeting. And I knew that the law, the law is clear. That 99 people can want to vote by the show of the finger. Once one person want to vote by the ballot, you shall go by the ballot. So I put the law on Edison in the meeting. We got vexed, Crazy and I. Edison still continued to ask for a vote to be taken at the meeting to reappoint the board by the show of a finger. The auditors were sitting there. They knew we were right. But we pressed on them. Edison, with all his education, allowed a vote to take place by the show of the finger to vote by the show of the finger. So they appointed the board by that means, and they did not go in accordance with the law. You know what we did? We opposed it. We told them we didn't recognize the board. And by so doing, we got 5% of the shareholdings according to the law. And then we wrote a letter to the manager and to the board asking that they reconvene the AGM of the company. Because since the current board was not properly instituted by law, we were not prepared to accept any decision that those members would have taken. And Frankie and I came on that radio and we blew them on that radio station after that AGM. And, you know, they call us to a meeting because they send the letter to their lawyer. When they send the letter to the lawyer tell them we were correct. And so they ask us to come to a meeting to ask us to consider the fact that the company doesn't have the money to host another AGM and that we should accept the board in its current form and continue in the best interest of the company. We tell them no. We don't accept it. So they had to call another AGM in order to re-elect the board. But guess what they did? Coming up to the AGM now, they went and they checked how much shares Frankie had. They checked how much shares Maxwell had. They checked how much shares I had, and all of us, they figured that what them out had. And you know what they did? Even though they know the company was going bankrupt, under them, all that time the company going bankrupt under them, you know, they went and they bought shares. From manager down to Let me tell you something.
Boy, those guys.
Them man went, that thing man also go jail for it, okay, sir. Them man went and bought shares at the eve of the AGM so that they could come there and agree to vote by the secret ballot so that they would have the numbers to reinstate the same UWP brought into power. And they did that in broad daylight. I told them that is what you call in thief in an election. Not what they just come on the radio and talk about labor thief in election. So the UWP have a history of knowing how to thief election. And after that election they've already, the next thing I hear was the company shut down. I was never party to any meeting as a shareholder where they were telling us, well, we can no longer manage the company. So is there a group of people that feel that they could take the company and move forward with it? And let me explain something to the listeners. Following these guys shutting down the company, there are several local Dominicans today who are involved in the supply of animal feed, input for farms. You know how they formed these companies? Because DAPEX could no longer supply them because the European had shut it down. And then the farmers needed the input. They needed the feed. So Jacko's feed came into play in Kenfield. And several of the other private sector people went into importing their own animal feed. And today...
And
fertilizers. And today they are doing very well.
Very well.
Very well. You understand? Before you see the containers come, it's gone. Every time you pass by John to say dog there, you see the container on the road because a new container coming in. So these fellas couldn't manage and run the company. They did not want to allow anybody else to run it because they wanted it for themselves. And if they couldn't have it, they were prepared to kill it.
But Simeon, that is how they killed the DAPEX, UWP, Edison, James and them. And then the guy who was the manager, he passed now. And all of them. I and the financial secretary agreed when the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerry was Minister of Finance then, approved $800,000 for DAPEX, a grant. Not alone, a grant of 800 because they could not buy produce. They could not buy because they were buying and the thing would leave the storeroom. As you say, 1.4. Their auditor said about $1.8 million in stock. In inventory, just disappeared. So the government approved $800,000 for it. As director of audit, I said, look, you do not give them all the $800,000. Give them $400,000 as a first tranche, and the FS supported that, the NFS, and then we would do an audit of after 1 year, we would do an audit of the 400, or 6 months to a year, we would do an audit and satisfy the government, so the government would satisfy itself that this $400,000 was properly spent.
Yeah.
And when the time come to do the audit, they will go. They use the money for themselves. So the $400,000 was vanished, Simeon.
So, Carissa, how can these guys come today? Now, look at what it have for farmers. Concession on your vehicle. If you have your farm now, you can bring your vehicle. Once they come, they evaluate you, everything you get in duty-free concession. The VAT wave into Clarence, to me, the VAT is a special concession the farmers getting. Tools and equipment for the farm, special concession and all those things. Farmers getting grant left, right, and center. I wish the woodworkers were getting grant like that. Seriously. Farmers getting grant. All I listen to the Minister for Agriculture is how much $1 million in grant, how much $1 million in grant that the minister was with us some time ago talking about the millions of dollars that in the previous year that the government invested in farmers by whether it's agro processors, they're giving them equipment, just name it.
Poultry farmers getting a lot of money. Poultry, egg farmers now today. We are self-sufficient in eggs. We don't import eggs.
Oh, well, Simeon, coming back to what we started off.
Yeah.
This move by the government is really in keeping with the government's vision that agriculture contribute 700 million by the year to GDP by the year 2030. And I think the land aspect to it is basically closing the puzzle. But when you look at agriculture, I mean, there are 4 factors of production for agriculture. It's land, water, labor, and capital.
Right.
And when we look, take for instance, you look at water, you have it in abundance.
Right.
I mean, and we have areas where we even provide irrigations on some farms. So the water is there. When we look at labor, just recently the government presented a policy to bring in Haitian to assist because we recognize that we have a shortage of labor or persons are not that gravitating. Some of our people are not gravitating to the farm in terms of providing labor for the farm. So we close in that area. And not only that, we have raised the minimum wage. So persons will be more attracted to getting into the field. When we look at capital, and you all just mentioned the amount of grants and concessions that farmers are getting in terms of on the equipment, persons are getting grants, persons can go to the aid bank, get a loan at very concessionary rate, about 3%.
Just the other day I saw.
You understand? So the land aspect of it is really just completing the puzzle. And persons were complaining that, hey, you know what? We do not have land.
Right.
Especially some of the young people. I mean, I remember when I was younger, I mean, I'm not that old, but I had to, for me to get a piece of land, it had to cost me a good $60-something thousand to get to say, well, you have a piece of land if in case you had to go and do a little agriculture. You think, right now, the young people can apply and get 1 to 5 acres of land at $1 per acre per year as a lease. See, when you know the amount of money you can make for that 5 years, if you take a 5-year lease on 5, or you don't even hold 5, 3 acres of land, only $3 you pay in. Simeon.
Yeah.
I mean, what is in that to criticize? I mean, what are the alternatives that they are presenting to the young people? Are they telling them, don't take the land? Do apply for the land, Simeon?
Well, they disencourage them. If you listen to them, they're not encouraging them. They're not saying it's a good policy. For that matter, they are just criticizing it. Carte blanche criticizing it and giving the impression that as if nothing has happened over the past 20 years, but it's only now something is happening.
So are they saying that is too good for the young people?
Well,
that is too good for the young people?
I mean, I think that the policy got them frightened. They sung like a set of cowards to me who basically got frightened when they heard the announcement. And they, believing that the government stated that it was going to do that when the budget was passed.
Yeah, it was stated.
But Simeon, look at another thing the government has done for farming. The government gave Dexia $5 million as a revolving fund grant. $5 million to purchase. $5 million. What they were giving DAPEX to do is now being done by Dexia. $5 million revolving fund grant to purchase and sell farmers' produce. Dexia is buying bay oil and store it there and sell it when they can. They're buying fish.
A lot of fish.
A lot of fish. So no farmer can have to go on the roadside to sell fish and things. So they're buying fish, plenty fish. And the storeroom, the huge 2 storerooms they have down there, have fish. They're buying dashing, they're buying cucumbers, they're buying whatever it is and export it. That is what Dexia is doing currently. In addition to all just now they will be buying eggs when they have proper refrigeration.
I'm glad you mentioned Dexia, because the government could not just leave the farmers stranded.
Oh no.
You see, having formed a company to deal with those aspects of the agriculture, seeing that the UWP run it bankrupt, the government say, okay, all you run it bankrupt, all what I'll do. So the government had to turn now to Dexia to buy the dashing, to buy the produce that the farmers are producing and to be able to sell it. So the government did not leave the farmers stranded, and as Clarence alluded, gave them the money. So the same thing the government did with the company that was under the UWP management. It now had to do the very same thing with Dexia. And it's working, Clarence.
It's working.
You see, I know many farmers that are selling their dashing and selling their stuff to the company.
And within 2 days, they get in their money.
Yes.
So
2 days, they're going to pick up their check.
So for UWP to come on radio and their callers and those who advocate on their behalf, who don't like what we're saying tonight because we're telling them the truth about the truth and the whole truth, but nothing but the truth. They listen to all the foolishness on Q95. And they call and just say all kind of madness, not dealing with the facts, giving the impression that UWP can come and save agriculture. UWP can come and say, all of a sudden, they can come and say, Edison was an expert. If anybody was an expert in agriculture,
what's Edison, James?
I don't think Sticky Finger Fountain that never plant, he maybe say he planted his first banana tree last year. At his age, Thompson maybe 60 years already. And he claimed to, I see him carrying a bunch of fig on his head. And he said that is from his first banana tree.
I think Norris Prevost studied agroeconomics. So all of them were involved with agriculture.
You had Luke Prevost. Who was in the company.
The manager of the company at the time.
Luke Prevost was the chairman when I served of the company. You know, so you had Edison James who have a history of being an expert. So it was. So we were told back in the days. And instead, what happened to them? They kill everything that fall under their hand. It was only Vini Paliba Moon Kotsayo Cafe. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good night. You're going to be on my subject. I don't call and say good night.
Comrade, I'm going to send you a clearer line so you can join us via the Zoom because that line is a little low. And I want to make sure our listeners can hear you comfortably. So I'm going to have my friend Carissa to send you the Zoom link so you can join us on there, okay?
Okay, give it a minute. Okay,
yeah. All right. Yes, Carissa, to handle that because we have the Minister for Agriculture there. I'm so glad that he's calling us at this very important moment because, I mean, gentlemen, I have never seen people make money in agriculture like how they are making today, class.
Never.
When Edison had promised farmers $1 a pound of fig back in the days, Edison couldn't give the farmers $1 because, as you know, it was selling for cents. But he tried to promise them $1. Today, a slice of plantain, fry, prepared with a little whatever breadcrumbs and whatever on it, is $1, you know. One slice. I anticipate, I have been buying food around and I saying, boy, let me tell you something. In one plantain, you can maybe get 10 slices.
Simeon.
based on the size, the slice of the plantain they sell it.
I'm telling you, in some restaurants in Roseau, Simeon, when you go, they have certain food thing.
Yeah.
A slice of dasheen
is
$1. A slice of fig is $1. A slice of breadfruit is $1.
So if you don't want to buy it, go and cook your food at your home.
If you don't want to buy it, go and cook your food.
But the price is the price.
But that is the price. So farmers are selling and people buying.
No, Clarence. Even Baba Uli. I bought some Baba Uli for the Christmas, and I like Baba Uli. You know, it's a wild food. You know, it growing anywhere. Fella, a little portion of that. Tell me $40. I want you to say, guys, I'll give you $40 for that. So you see, after Maria, jelly that used to sell for $1, a coconut, you know, back in the days we used to make copra, and the copra farmers used to sell their copra to the Asif, to over there in Belfast, and Dominica Coconut Products, they used to sell their copra to them. So you had to first get the coconut, you had to shell it, then you had to build a drying room to dry the coconut because you had to turn it to copra. Then you have to bag it. Then you go and sell it to the company for cents.
For cents a pound.
Now, today, you don't have to do all that. All you have to do, some of them farmers tell me they don't even make the coconut get dry on the tree. He just pick it, cut it, whap, $5 in your hand. Now they bottle it for you at $10
and $5
and $5 a bottle.
And if you have the Brazilian draft nut, you're getting 2 small bottles in one coconut.
You going to buy what you call fig and other produce in the supermarkets or in the market. You paying $5 a hand. According to the hand, you might pay a little more. I love pears. I even have a picture of the price of the last pear I bought, $8. Right? $8 or Zaboka. You know, Zaboka, pears. $8. So tell me, if you are cultivating your farm and you're taking agriculture serious, Clarence, I have no doubt you will make money in agriculture.
You're going to make money, Simeon. You're going to make money.
I remember seeing elderly man, Mr. Louis, talking about at his age, if anybody can give him more land, he still want more land. We have Honorable Roland Royer there with us on the Zoom. You can unmute your mic, comrade. Let's get you on because we are on a very important subject there tonight.
Yes, good night, gentlemen.
Good night to you, comrade.
Good night, comrade.
Good night.
Very sexy tonight, man.
Yes, we it's an important discussion, and I heard today how the UWP was trying to trivialize the important policy recently announced by the cabinet and yourself.
Right. You see, the thing is, Simeon, you don't throw stone me and green green mango, you know.
That's true.
Stone me and ripe mango. So
Yeah.
I mean, if the thing was not good, you know, anything. But to be very serious, Simeon, that is unprecedented. That's a strategic move, and them guys don't understand where it come from. We caught them with the pants down, period. Because they've been saying that the government is not doing nothing for agriculture. Which every time I get the opportunity, I speak on it, I articulate exactly what we're doing and how we approach this thing. You see, we took a basic approach in addressing issues in agriculture, which we call the value chain approach, from farm to market. We look at all the gaps and we put measures in place to address all the gaps to ensure that the sector keeps growing and growing and growing. You know, so we started with all the basic infrastructure that was done by Hurricane Maria to include a brand new lab. We're doing the citrus facility in Londonderry. We invested in smart agriculture like greenhouses and all other systems we've been doing. You know, the agri stations, we build them up to make sure that we have planting materials delivered to all of them. So we did the infrastructure part of it. We invested in inputs. Millions of dollars spent in inputs, procuring fertilizer, tools, planting material. For example, we brought in over 45,000 planting and banana planting material from France. Tissue culture plants that before our lab was functional.
Right.
And if you would have noticed sometime last year, Simeon, we even experienced a glut in the market because of plantings and bananas we had in the market, which forced the Excel now to seek additional market in the US and in Trinidad, where we're exporting bananas too, you know. So when you are planting a banana farmer from the Northeast and the West Coast, wherever you're planting it, and you are not happy or you're not supporting the government, and you're seeing all the things that happen, you must criticize because that was your last year you thought you have to really condemn the government. But the sector is booming. I say a good reservation, because if you take it from Hurricane Maria, where we were at ground zero, we had nothing. The sector was just dead.
Right.
And to come and to have contributions to GDP, even surpassing pre-Maria figures, that's excellent job.
Of course.
And it didn't happen overnight. Because just under the livelihoods projects alone, we spent over $80 million.
Wow.
80 million under one project. And that not including the machineries we got from the People's Republic of China, not valuing the Tissue Culture Lab, not valuing the over 40 million we spend in rehabilitating farm access roads, you understand, and other expenditure. So if you were to sum up, just from Hurricane Maria to now, we spent minimum $200 million in the sector. We pumped into the sector.
Wow.
So that's why we are seeing the results that we are seeing today, you know? And we don't just wake up today and say we're going to do something and we just didn't know. We planned it properly. We identified the gaps and we put systems in place to address the gaps. Like, for example, Carissa spoke earlier about the farm labor program.
Yeah.
There's a deliberate policy to bring in migrant labor to augment the farm labor we have in Dominica because we have a shortage of farm labor. That was one of the biggest issues the farmers were complaining about. And we did that. So far, over 20 farmers have benefited, and we brought in maybe close to 100 foreign workers to assist us on the farms.
Wow.
And checking them, they are on island, and they're working because it's being managed by a committee of permanent secretaries. So it's not no Viking thing, it's a well-planned stuff. You know, coupled to that, Carissa, you forgot to mention the rebate program that adds to the capital as well. Last budget, we announced that if you go into invest in poultry, you can get up to over $20,000 back rebate based on the level of investment you made. And that is same for protected agriculture, like greenhouses and hydroponic system, and also coffee and cocoa. You know, so these are the programs that we have in place. That is the reason why you're seeing this sector is growing. So we left from recovery to transformation. Now we are in the growth phase now of the sector. We're just wrapping up the construction of a brand new chicken abattoir.
Yes.
Cost the government $6.4 million. And that's supported by the rehabilitation of the pig abattoir as well. We already installed all the lines and we've tested, and end of February we'll have the experts come again to do the final test, and then we're going to commission that facility. But we did not stop there, Simeon. We supported poultry and pig farmers with material, free material, and paid labor to construct resilient pens, costing government $7.2 million over the past 3 years.
Wow.
So we don't just build about in isolation. We make sure that we're going to have the product, the raw material to go in there to process. That's how you look at the value chain, covering every link in the process. You know, so it's a well-planned strategy that the ministry is unfolding, and the critics on the side cannot point on anything now than criticizing our 300 acres of land we are going to provide for young farmers to continue expanding on production. And as I said yesterday in the program, in the morning, it's not a fighting Simeon. That's going to be demand driven. We have our experts at the ministry. They will be advising us as to the locations for what crop to grow, because in Dominica, based on our terrain and our topography, we have a lot of microclimatic conditions. So what can grow in Bell will not be able to grow in Salisbury because we have different climate. So they now will be advising us as to what crop grows best there. And then when farmers throw in trees, they apply, we'll advise them, okay, that's what they're going to do. But it's not just any crop.
Right.
It's going to be demand driven. So what the market wants will encourage you to plant, so you don't have anything on your hands. For example, aquaculture, that is fresh prawns. There's a huge market for that in Martin Guadeloupe, and we cannot supply that. We can't even supply the local demand. So these are things that we're encouraging. When you look at the high value vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, bell peppers, fresh market, SMAC, Wiltshire, they are importing that at some times of the year. So we have to make sure we reduce on importation. So we're going to target these crops, but they do well on the protected agriculture. You know, we've been impacted by climate change, Simeon.
Right.
We can't be open field like before. Dry and wet season, no. The weather, the variabilities are so wide. We have to do it protected. You know, so these are some areas that we'll try to steer farmers into. Not forgetting coffee and cocoa, high value as well.
Yeah.
You know, and many other crops, you know, we know that can do well in Dominica.
No.
And of course, as I said, we work closely with Dexia, with the market intelligence, so we know exactly what the demands are, and we're going to steer the farmers into that production. On the effort. Attack is 2030.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned the issue of market, Because
Yes.
one of the arguments they were making today is, oh, well, they want to give the farmers land to plant at $1. But where is the market? There is no market. There is no this, there is no that, you know. But here is it that you are saying that there are certain produce that is in demand.
Yeah, if we look at just local, Simeon, I mean, even down to watermelon, sometimes the supermarket bring it at some time of the year. You know, so we start in domestic first. We'll come to the export in a while. But we have identified certain crops that we can grow year-round, and we can reduce the importation of them significantly. I mentioned a few a while ago. So, and we can only achieve that through protected agriculture. For example, that young guy named Morgan, he has his hydroponics facility between Maru and Masak there. And he alone supplies all the supermarket with cherry tomatoes. They were imported before. Now they have stopped importation. So we have steered him, we worked with him, and they've stopped importation of cherry tomatoes because one person can supply that. So we're taking a similar approach to the other crops. So we can supply domestically. When you look at the regional market, there are huge demands. The issue is our volumes. We have to expand more so we can lock some serious contracts. You understand? And that is why we are expanding production. We did in plantains and bananas recently. We into the US, we into Trinidad, and we'll do two similar crops. We've lost market share granted due to Hurricane Maria in St. Martin and some other parts because Costa Rica and some other islands came in, and we are increasingly regaining our market share in those regions because now we're able to push out more consistently and high quality produce. You know, so the market for us is not an issue. We just have to be consistent, the quality, and when we have the volumes, we will just regain our market shares. So what we need to do now is to encourage farmers to plant, take advantage of the opportunity that the government has been presenting to them. We're not just giving you land, we're supporting you with inputs, with technical advice, and of course the capital always there at the banks, it banks at concessionary rates. And of course, on our projects, we support the farmers year-round. Recently, we supported over 95 farmers with irrigation equipment. That is $1,000 tanks, 1,000-gallon tanks, drip lines, and water pumps, so that they can install on the farm and so they can produce year-round. We're doing that just to ensure that they are more consistent in the production. Our agro-processors, we are not forgetting them, Simon, as well.
Yeah.
We spend over $2.2 million providing them with grants and equipment to make sure that they produce quality products in a safe environment. Of course, helping them to increase the market competitiveness on the local and regional market. You know, so we have that value chain lockdown. We know what we are doing. It's not a by giver approach, and we are already seeing the results. You know, so I saw the leader of the opposition posted on Facebook. Some guy he's buying some dashing from.
Yes.
But these are the same farmers that we give inputs and train them and support them.
Yes,
You understand?
Yes.
These are the same farmers that are on our list that we provide them technical assistance and free inputs to produce.
Yes, I.
You know, so what we should be busy doing is to get some market, get some market as well.
Or he should get some of the Dasland that he had claimed he had a passion about. He should get it to cultivate and plant something. But Honorable Minister, I also heard recently that there were awards being given to certain farmers, those who are involved in honey and several other areas.
Right. Yes. So we have our annual Farmers Awards. We are the third annual this year. It's something I introduced coming in as minister. And what we try to do is to identify the top performers every year. And we have so many of them. So it isn't difficult for us to even pick a Farmer of the Year. And it has gotten to a level where farmers are so motivated during the year they compete to see who has the largest acreage under cultivation. So that's the kind of motivation, you know, that award has, you know, put on the farming community. So this year we had a gentleman from Salisbury who was the Farmer of the Year. We give the Fisher of the Year. We identify the Beekeeper of the Year, the Livestock Farmer of the Year. We have over 26 award categories that we do every year, and our officers monitor it throughout the year to make sure that we pick the right person. And I can tell you, the private sector supported that so well By September, they call and say, "Hey, guys, our ceremony is on now," because they saw that as a way of of advertising the business as well.
Right.
So every year we move it to a different level, and of course the government being sponsors. We provide cash prizes to them. We give them tillers, other equipment and tools and stuff. But every year we raise the bar to ensure the farmers are appreciated. They come with their wives in the state house in a jacket and tie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And they feel appreciated. So that's what we're doing.
No,
as a government, ensure or persons who ensure food security are appreciated.
Now let me. Someone is asking a question there on our next level page, and let me just read what they're asking. What they're asking: what about the quality of the product that you guys shipping out of Dominica? Are you guys going to put a standard into it? Because what we getting out there from other countries is garbage, and we know Dominica have proper produce that we can have up there in the foreign countries.
Of course. We take standard and quality seriously. Simeon, I too have some background in that. I worked at the Bureau Standard for a few years. I was the one responsible for fresh produce. So we have what we call the Fresh Produce Quality Control Act. That act is the Bureau Standards, they are the custodians of that act. So once it implemented, it will ensure that every produce that leaves our shores are based on international standards. That is why you see the introduction of the RIDCs. These are the inland reception centers where we package, and the packing houses of Dexia in Roseau and Portsmouth. So the act governs the operation in that. One of the issues that we really have sometimes, the produce leave Dominica in good quality. But some of the schooner vessels we have transporting the produce to the neighboring islands, they are not properly equipped to have the produce, transported in the condition it's supposed to be transported. And we are working on that. In the past, government, I know, supported them through NDFD, to put reefer containers on the boat, to put the different equipment they need to enter in certain ports. So we have identified that, and we are working with the boat owners to improve on that. However, there are some practices too that the Hawksers have to bear in mind that's not supporting the quality. For example, the export boxes are supposed to take maximum 50 pounds, 45, 50 pounds. But to save on cost, they would overpack the box, and then they have 70, 60. So what it does, it compresses the produce below. So that's a habit again. The ministry and Bureau Standards is working in the farmers to see how we can augment that, make the box a bit cheaper, so they can pack it properly. But in terms of quality and taste, our farmers do produce top quality. About what is going to aid us in the further markets like the US and the UK, when we have our international airport commission, Simeon.
Yes.
We go with cargo. So in a matter of hours, we'll have fresh produce delivered on the shelves, in the US and the UK. So that's one of the other investment government is making that will facilitate our produce getting there on time and in good quality. But in terms of the quality we produce, I must comment, we produce top quality stuff in Dominica. And there are some hurdles that we have to clear.
It's interesting that you mentioned the international airport and the role that it will play in the movement of this produce, because there is a particular crop I think they produce in one of the counties in China, and it have to get on the shelf fresh. Otherwise, if it doesn't get there within 24 hours, it can spoil. So they were asking them, how do they get it from the farm, to the shelf? And they was just showing how they have an arrangement with the airline, and within a specified time they have to pick the fruit, have it ready. It is then transported via air to the supermarkets and other places where it is properly stored, and then the customers can get it fresh, like as if it was just picked from the tree. And so the international airport definitely there'll be a huge benefit in having the international airport.
Huge. And I keep saying that in St. Vincent, for example, since the airport was commissioned, the export of agricultural produce increased 5-fold from St. Vincent just through air cargo. And we produce much more than St. Vincent. Anyways, so the opportunities for cut flowers to live fresh, our vegetables. Can you just imagine a farmer in Marigot harvesting cabbages at 4:40 in the morning? He get to the airport by 8 o'clock. He put it on American Airlines. In Miami by 3:30, you have cabbage on the chef in Publix, just like that, fresh,
That's right. That's
So
right.
these are the kind of opportunity that the airport is going to create, for farmers, not only for fresh produce, but for fish as well. We did trial shipments to export fish already using the wax boxes to Canada and the US. And the quality that it arrived at the market, they were so impressed. Because people living in these kind of territories, they're not used to fresh fish because that will stay on a vessel out there for 3 weeks. But imagine you can get fish 3 days old on a plate in the US that is high value, they call that.
Yes.
They top box for that, so these are the kind of opportunities that the airport is going to bring. And I see agriculture is going to explode, when the airport is open and running.
No.
Have land to do to produce.
No. The critics on the other side are saying that the plan to get to $700 million in by 2030, the European is saying it is impossible. It cannot happen.
No, that's not.
They go back to the heydays of bananas to try to say that we're doing only 100 million in bananas, and how but we are obviously aiming high, Honorable Minister, to make sure.
Yeah,
that,
it's an ambitious target, and I think we are more than halfway. Our last count was around 385 million to GDP. There are certain leaks in the system that if we take a closer look at it in terms of data, it's going to draw us closer. And the investment we made of over 85 million for the past 3 years on one project, Simeon, that set the pace for the growth in the sector. And we just announced the 300 acres of land to encourage more production and expansion of certain crops we know that are of high value and of great demand. So I'm totally confident that we can make it and even surpass it. But as I said, there's certain things that we're working on silently. And when the time comes, we reveal.
Yes.
But there are a lot of leaks in the system that we need to take care of in terms of the correct and accurate data to say exactly where we are.
Right.
I just mentioned one to you quickly a while ago. There, pick it up. For example, a box of plantain, it is supposed to have 45 pounds in the box of plantain. And that is how it is recorded on the Asecuda. But indeed, it is leaving the shelves with 70 and 80 pounds.
Oh.
So we are not recording the other 50, 40 pounds.
Right.
If we look capture that by public data collection, we are much higher than where we are now. And the PM always say, for example, persons going to Guadeloupe and Martinique with the cocoa sticks in their bag, and all them stuff. All these things are not recorded. And their value, honey, high value.
Yeah.
They've been in suitcases, and that's not recorded. So and I did not even mention the investment we're making for the apiculture sector. That's honey.
Right.
Simeon.
Right.
As so many things happening.
Because I understood we have a lot of honey farmers on island from what I've been hearing.
We have a target from this financial year that started in July. We said that we are going to expand the honey hives by 500, at least 500. We almost to that number already, and we're going to target like 600-700 additional hives. So we are doubling the number of hives we have on island, providing that to the farmers for free. So we bought the material, Simeon. We have contracted 2 proper contractors that are building the boxes. We imported the different components for the inside, and we are handing to farmers for free.
Wow.
So we are doubling the number of hives we have on island. So we are going to double the value and double the quality of honey that we produce in any 1 month.
That's interesting. Somebody's asking there, how much can one farmer produce? The days for having 1 month trying to produce 5-6 bags of yam, those days are over. These farmers need to come together and create teams. How is that? How is that working out? Are you identifying teams among them or anything like that?
Yeah. So that can be done through various approaches. We have farmer associations like the Beekeeper Association. They are very strong. We have, let's say, for example, the Salisbury Men Group. We have the Warner Farmers Group. We have teams in the South, etc. So they try to consolidate, but they will grow independently and they try to consolidate. So that's one of the approaches that we are making.
Right.
But to have more impact, we can do by commodities. So, for example, you have a Dashing Farmer Group, and they produce together and export like an association or like a corporation. That can work. However, you'll be surprised the level of commercial farmers that we have. We have some huge farmers, that are unknown. That I think the ministry must do a better job, to really profile these farmers.
Right.
15, 20, 30 acres under cultivation.
Wow.
So any person, any real farmer now that in it full time as a business, Simeon, you'll be impressed by what they're doing. If somebody doing a backyard thing, they will have 200 banks of yam.
Yes.
But the commercial farmers, they are way much, I'm larger than that. For example, our guy Van in the West Coast, 15 acres under cultivation. The guy who got Farmer of the Year, 18 acres cultivation, or Young Farmer of the Year, 12 acres. We have our friend Mr. Christmas up in Akushi Heights there. When he had yams out, he had 35 acres under yams. He also know he needed some farm to get back to that level. He brought in 12, under the program to support him, and he has been expanding. Castle along there on the way in Rice Castle, 10 acres of bananas he's been planting. We have some huge farmers, huge.
That's great.
It's not like before in the countryside and farmers have bag yam.
Right.
That don't exist.
That don't exist anymore. No, I know the government is allocating, I believe, we said 300 acres for the purpose of leasing by the young farmers.
Yes.
But there are also private proper land owners in Dominica who own quite a bit of land. But we can see that several places I pass and I ask, but who own the land there? They tell me it's privately owned, but the land is idle. Is there any plan to look at how, because some of these people may have migrated, or the families may have migrated.
Right.
They're not on island, but the lands are there. Is there any call by a ministry to them, whether it is to lease this land to persons who are interested or so? Particularly if you go in the Cassie Bruce area, you go in some of the areas where you see the government previously had put in irrigation and stuff like that there, but you never really saw the growth of some of these areas. Are there any move to encourage these families? Yes.
Yeah, so we have a two-pronged approach to this. One, for example, seeing that we expand in citrus, and I didn't touch on that as yet, our citrus program, because we need to get to citrus like where we were in the 90s and 80s in citrus. I always believe Dominica is the country in the Caribbean that can do citrus the best. So now we have around 50,000 plants in stages. As we propagate, they mature, we sell to farmers, and we're expanding. So there are some areas in Dominica that do citrus very well. Like the Syndicate Heights, on top, Collier Heights, and certain pockets that do it very, very well. So we have a lot of idle estates there. So extension is, we are contacting the family, the abandoned farms, to have them express interest, in at least rehabilitating, replanting the farms, and we've got some who are interested, some are not, but that's one approach. The other approach, years and years, Simeon, we've been speaking about a land bank. That is to identify all the idle lands that will under production at some point, and to invite, the family to have it deposited in the bank, to have it leased or something like that. So it's something we're doing more. We'll intend to do, in consultation with the landowners. You don't sit on them. But at least to begin, we'll call them up, approach, and ask them, you want to lease, because we are interested in investing on the farm. Do you have any interest in doing so? But we have a catalog, we have some data on most of the idle lands, and that will once under cultivation.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of approaching them and asking them if they want to be part of that program.
Excellent. Yeah. I think that's a wonderful thing, because while I know the government is doing what it's doing, but there are prime land that can be used for the purpose of farming, and we need to find a way to get these plots active again, because obviously, as we said, some of the people may not be on island or may not intend on coming back in a hurry, and obviously, tell us something about the citrus and persons who are interested, for example, in plants, because now that we are going to make the land available, the farmers who are leasing the land obviously will need to know how to obtain or what is available in terms of whether it is cocoa or other citrus season. Tell us a bit about that before.
Okay, so the citrus program, we had a target of 100,000 plants over 2 years. So we had 50. We have rootstocks 4, and then we have another 50 we still have in seed trees. Out of that 50, we have bodied about 60 to 70% of that with different varieties. We brought in budding material from California, we brought in from Belize, and we saw some locally. Remember, we have the Christias citrus virus, and we also have the Wambong link, that is citrus greening. So and Dominica has both, so we have to make sure we import clean budding material so we won't sell infested plants. So now we're starting from September last year, we started selling because the first set is material, so we're doing it by portion of 4,000-5,000, and I can tell you that going like $100 Simeon. Wow. But what we do to ensure that it goes on the farm, the extension officer must pay a visit. So for example, Simeon, if you want plant, you need to contact the extension officer. He'll come visit your farm. He will assist you in lining your plot, and when your holes are dug, you will be given a slip to go to 1 mile to get your plant purchased. Because in the past, we know persons will buy in planting material and smuggle it overseas. We don't want that. I mean, and the monies we spend to import this, but they're very expensive, and we're still selling it at a highly concessionary rate to the farmers. So one citrus plant would cost us around $25 to produce, and we sell it at $10, highly subsidized. So we don't want it going under mango tree and not planted. So that's why we've taken that measure. Once the extension officer is satisfied that your land is prepared, you are then given the slip to pick up, and then we follow up to make sure it's in the soil. But it's available. You can express an interest for your extension officer, and as the plant is ready to go out, you will get planting material. For cocoa, we have quite a bit as well at Woodford Hill, and avocados as well, quite a bit at Woodford Hill Station. Yeah.
So farmers, definitely the issue of propagation of the plants, that is happening as we speak. Now, someone is saying here that they were having problem to get cocoa sticks and castor oil to take back with them, while visiting Dominica. Obviously, it seems like these things are in demand too.
Yes, cocoa is of high demand. 2 years ago, Dexia would be importing cocoa beans from Grenada. That is something I never liked. So we decided, okay, you know what, we're going to work to stop that. So from 2022 to date, we have rehabilitated and established close to 400 acres of cocoa.
Wow.
No one knew that. Plenty cocoa. As we grow it, we sell and we monitor establishment. So now we're at a stage now where we stop the importation of cocoa beans from Grenada because now we can supply the local market. And they still need to expand. You'll appreciate we have the younger crops that are not yet bearing fruits, but we envisage once everything is at bearing capacity, we should have enough to supply the local market. Because the cocoa is high demand for chocolate, because we have 2 persons doing chocolate here that are exporting chocolates. It's high demand for chocolate and other confectionery they do with cocoa and coffee as well. So we have a strategy for cocoa and coffee. That is why they fall under the rebate program. So if you were to plant an acre of cocoa, you bring your bills, you get back 40% of your investment under the rebate program. So we have plans for that as well. Yeah.
Well, that's great, and I'm happy that you could really join us tonight to discuss this important sector, because the critics and them gave the impression today on Q95 like as if it's 25 years Labour is in power, but it's only now, and why only now is the Labour Party offering the farmers, as if to say, well, there has never been any policy direction in relation to that. So
I mean that's incorrect. The government has always been leasing land to persons who want to invest in agriculture. I mean, we formalized it and put everything in a bank, but nobody cannot say the government was not doing that. So it's something that we formalized nice and targeting the young farmers, and other agro entrepreneurs. But we've always been looking out for persons who want to invest and need land. But we formalize it and we've target in targeted areas, as I said, and we're seeing that it is really going to bear fruits because there are persons that would come every day at our ministry, young farmers. They want to expand, they want to go into farming, but the family do not have land. They don't have the capital going to take loan to buy land. They cannot get to lease. So we had to have a special program targeting them because, as you know, Simeon, the average age of a farm Dominica is 65 years.
Yes.
So we have to position our young persons, to take over the sector. And surprisingly, many people saying they're not young persons. There are a lot of young persons in agriculture.
That's great.
Plenty, great. I tell you, if you were at the Dexter's Market Day for Difference last year for Independence, 90% of the farmers who got awards are young persons.
I was introduced to one of the top farmers who was given an award. They're a very young guy.
Young guy.
Yeah, young guy. I was impressed with that. And so there is great hope for the future of agriculture in Dominica moving forward.
And we're only working, and we're also working closely with NAYA, that's the National Association of Youth in Agriculture. They're meeting with them about 3 weeks ago, the executive, and we have some plans for them to lend support to them, So we're really looking at our young persons and putting systems in place to ensure that they continue the tradition.
One more question for you. Someone is asking about coffee. What are the plans for local coffee? What about local coffee? I know that there was some investment some time back in building a coffee plant. We seem to have gotten some setback on that. But what's happening with that particular sector area?
Yeah, coffee is one of the other lucrative crops that we have earmarked. It too fall under the rebate program. So it's coffee and cocoa. These are the 2-3 crops that fall under the program. So you plant an acre of coffee, you get back around 40% or 60% back of your investment. We are in the process of building a special nursery just to do coffee plants because you can appreciate the elevation coffee needs to do well.
Yeah.
So we can do it anyway. So we're looking at somewhere in Pokase. Working with forestry to make sure we have a coffee nursery there. There are farmers who do a lot of coffee in Syndicate and Milton area and do very well. In terms of the coffee factory, it was badly damaged by Hurricane Maria. We're in the process of rehabilitating. We got some new roosters there, and the government have plans to continue that process to rehabilitate. But not that we have gotten, but it's we appreciate need for function of the product itself.
I suspect our internet dragging a little bit there. We were not getting you clearly in the final statement that you were making. But it is.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Yeah, it might be on our side. Maybe the internet sometimes just drop a little bit, and so that could be the reason. But it is clear, Honorable Minister, that that Labour have a plan, and it is executing the plan in a way to ensure that by 2030, the target set that we can at least, if we, for whatever reason, we know, but we will be very close to that target with the way that we are moving forward. All right. I suspect we may have lost our feed there, Clarence. And because the internet seem to have yes, you pick. Can you are you there with me?
Yes. So yes, Simon, I told you that that's a target that we're working towards. At the ministry, we take it very seriously. The PM has set the target for us, and we're planning, as to how we're going to approach it. The agri sector itself, we have broken it down into subsectors, and we have targets for each subsector, okay? So, for example, for the crop component, we have the percentage that we need to meet. For livestock, we have the percentage that we have to meet. For fisheries, we have the percentage we have to meet. For apiculture, so we have broken down it by subsectors and have our internal targets for each subsector. Like, for example, we have a target to reduce the importation of chicken by 30 to 40% by the 2030. And that is why we've seen this strategic investment in the abattoir and all the monies we have spent in assisting farmers in building chicken coops and all that. So we have a roadmap towards 2030 as to how we're going to meet that target. And we're working towards that. All we're asking for is for farmers to trust the process, continue investing in the sector. We have provided the land, the labor, the capital. So now it's all us to us farmers now to invest and move the sector.
So a young person or a farmer listening tonight who is interested in contacting the government because they are interested in the proposal being put forward by government in leasing the land, which ministry or who would they have to contact or where directly?
Okay, right. So that process will be managed by the Agriculture Investment Unit at the Ministry of Agriculture. They are finalizing the online application form. So by Friday, it will be live. And the ministry by Friday will make to the public the website and a contact number for farmers who have interest in applying for that. So give us Friday, we will make to the known to the public the website and the number that they will need to make reference to for that. But we are putting system into Simeon for that for sure.
Excellent. Well, I want to really thank you, Honorable Minister, for really calling us I know we did not plan having you on, but we really appreciate you seeing the need to join us tonight in this very important discussion, because we do believe that agriculture and tourism have to go hand in hand. And we, with everything that is happening in the world today, we need to be able to at least feed our people and know that we can become self-reliant. And I'm happy to know that, as you said, we no longer have to import cocoa, because we can now produce it locally and have sufficient supply for our own consumption as well as exporting. And I know this is where we are heading. And so I want to really congratulate you and your staff within the ministry, and continue the good work that you are doing. Your closing remarks before you, of course, leave us tonight.
Yes, Simeon, I just want to remind our listeners, before I leave, that let's look at agriculture started from 2018. Because from 2017, Hurricane Maria, we were at ground zero. So sometimes we get criticized, but persons forget that part. We had to rebuild an entire sector. And to have done so well within 7 years, the government must be commended for the efforts and the deliberate investment we've made in this sector. Not spend anything, looking at the evaluation approach. That's why, we can say, okay, we've done well. We have a lot more to do, but, people always speak.
Yes.
And the opposition will not throw stone behind green mango at all.
That's true.
The mango, so they're targeting something to bring down. But we still resolute.
Yes.
And we'll continue to do the work that we are paid to do. Thank you, Sid.
Indeed. Thank you, Honorable Roy. Thank you. Yes, thank you, sir. Yes, gentlemen, I mean, what a wonderful discussion there with the minister, and the folks online are asking the adult rights who were critiquing the program tonight on agriculture. They hope that they listen carefully and that they realize. And you talk about creating the enabling environment for farmers and this is what you talk about when you talk about creating the enabling environment. This is what you're talking about. The government is providing the land, providing the support that you need, and providing the plans and whatever it is that you need. They're even giving you grant money too.
You're getting everything, Simeon. This is why I felt it. You have a political party in opposition and the politics of it, who decide everything government do, they must criticize it. And you ask yourself, if you criticize it, what is it you're going to do? What is it you're going to do?
What is the plan?
What is your plan? Everything. And as I was saying, and the minister mentioned it, supported that. Agriculture in Dominica is starting at zero in 2018.
After Maria.
We started at, we were making in 2016 $284 million in 2016. $284 million in 2016 in agriculture. In 2016, 2017, 2018, you're going down to about 52 million because everything had gone.
Right.
Everything had gone.
Right.
And now you're approaching $300 and so million dollars in million dollars back in agriculture.
Let's take a call there. Caller, good evening on the telephone. Good evening, caller, you're live.
Yes, good evening, Timo, and good evening, Comrade Clarence.
Yes, good evening, Ed. Yes.
I will be Minister for Agriculture just a while ago, and just to say that he forgot to mention the assistants with the not the tillers, not the tractors in Warner that was assisted to the groups. And as we speak, there is 2 brand new tractors there to assist the farmer for white potato and sweet potato and other crops. So when you're hearing guys, trying to castigate and criticize the government and so on, there's a lot that assistance out there, and the people who are awarded to the assistance, is the very same people that would have those things sitting, not making use of them, not utilizing them in the manner in which they're supposed to, but yet they would criticize. Boy, it's just a sad day in this place, with those kind of people. Trust me, sometimes you're really sicken me, man.
I know.
God bless.
Take care, man. Thank you, dear. And yes, he was speaking of the potato farmers and the equipment that is given. And Clarence, you see, so there is hope for agriculture, and it's a matter of now people who have interest in this area to begin to apply themselves and take the opportunity that is there. And these are not the days when fig was selling for cents. Fig cavan pour gros l'argent. There was a time when you had to sell 100 grapefruits for $20. You can't buy 100 grapefruits for $20 again. So the days when they used to sell things by low, farmers no longer sell things by low anymore. It's they weigh everything. And
so, Simeon, you get a parcel of dashing.
Yeah.
It's now $10 now.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't you have to talk about the size of the parcel?
Free dashing in it, and it's $10 now.
No, now them dashing are massive. One alone is $10.
Yeah, but Simon, I think these are among the best days for agriculture and for the farmers. And I mean, really and truly, after listening to the minister, it's clear that the opportunities are there. The farmers just have to take advantage of those opportunities. But I think those are among the best days that I've heard for agriculture. The minister could stay there for the entire night.
Yes.
And there are still things that he hasn't touched as yet.
You heard the caller who just called. He just mentioned some of what the minister did not mention. And so the scope is very huge. And this is one of the reasons why when I listen to these guys coming and talking about, they are ready to run this country, but they are picking on agriculture. As if, the farmers forget what they did back in the heydays. And then they can come here and convince farmers that they can come and do better. And I'm glad that the minister mentioned the fact that the very dashing that Fountain was posing by and claimed they buying, that it is the government working with those same farmers. And so we so WLP, as I said, does not have any clear policy on anything. Only 2 things they mention is agriculture and manufacturing. These are the only 2 things that I will be mentioning. They forget that you have roads, you have health, you have education. They forget all of those other areas. You have tourism. They forget all of these other sectors. If you listen to Sticky Finger Fountain, whenever he talk, it's 2 things he want to target: agriculture and manufacturing. He doesn't want to target, he doesn't speak. So Europe doesn't have, and they still does not tell us what is it that they would do as a party, as a government. Not even after they went to Sam Raphael's place up at Jungle Bay and had their so-called, what was the name of what they had, Clarence? They had the symposium.
Economic Summit.
Economic Summit.
That's why we had the 10 pillars?
10 pillars.
No, I suspect them 10 pillars didn't come from that summit. Because we didn't hear about 10 pillars.
No, the 10 pillars was after.
way after.
Yeah, just after.
Mr. just come up with an idea about 10 pillars, but according to the Prime Minister, them 10 pillars already fall down somewhere. You know, because you know, I want to play something that that Prime Minister carried. He said, you know, about Thompson Fontaine and some of the things, because as you know, Prime Minister Skerrit had a very interesting discussion with the press, and over at Ocean Oasis, where he addressed several of the issues that, of course, Dominicans. But we have a call coming in there. Let's see if we can take that call. I notice someone is trying to call us there. Let us see if we can get that caller on. Yeah, all right. Caller, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hey, Steinman, good evening to you, my brother. How are you doing? Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you. Clarence, good to hear you, and Caressa.
Greetings,
greetings.
I mean, just a brief intervention.
Yes.
I remembered coming out of the Patrick John days. The emphasis was on agriculture. And even when O.J. Serafin at the time was a minister for agriculture, there was an attempt to distribute significant amounts of lands to young people at that time. When the Freedom Party came to office in 1980, you know, everything was new. Reagan was in office. America was bright. Cable television had come along. And there was this emphasis on everything new. And at the time, tourism was coming in as the new, well, it seemed to be the replacement for agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if we had spent too much time on the agricultural, and so we needed something. So tourism took a big place. And I remember William Demas. I met him in Barbados as a student while I was there, president of the Caribbean Development Bank. He was saying that Caribbean societies should not make the mistake of replacing agriculture with tourism.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he thought the wiser thing to do was for them to grow in tandem. That is, one with the other.
Right.
So now that I hear, okay, there's been a great emphasis, tourism has come around, you know, the tram, the airport, and what that has happened with the hotels, and so on and so forth. That has been moving, and people say, oh, tourism, too much tourism. And then here we have rising in tandem agriculture, you know, and I think 700 million, you know, by 2030, all that has been distributed to farmers, nurseries, plants. Even the 1 mile project is a huge innovation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that movement of agriculture and tourism hand in hand, I think it's a very powerful, you know, it's a very wonderful thing that we're doing. And I would congratulate the government on this particular regard.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd share that.
Very important intervention. Very important intervention there, and I also like the fact that you acknowledge that you know, that previous administrations attempted to do that, and Stein is right. I mean, when you look at what the government is doing in terms of its policy on tourism and the investment that has been poured through the Citizenship by Investment program in the tourism sector, which is growing right now. I mean, a lot of the hotels are going to come on stream sometime. The international airport is going to come on stream. The cable car, the marina, major investment, and we know that the Prime Minister spoke sometime recently about the cruise village that the government is going to build, as well as the container port. All of these things to make sure that, you know, we can provide the proper infrastructure for our citizenry. With all of this investment taking place in tourism, no doubt, Clarence, with the push to now bring agriculture at that level, it tells you that there is going to be a lot of work for people to do.
Yep.
You know, a lot of work, and the government is prepared. The Labour Party government is prepared to put in the resources, because you have to, of course, put in the resources to make sure that this thing happens. So we this is why I tell them Labour have the best plan, regardless to whatever challenges that come our way. But Labour has a plan to keep Dominica afloat. You know, we live in challenging times in this world. You know, in a world where you are in tariff by there. Right now, the recent news I heard was tariff on England, tariff on Greece, tariff on that one. But we in Dominica continue to remain very focused on expanding, and as the Prime Minister said recently, putting in place the transformational projects.
That's right.
That will help to transform Dominica's economy. And the revenue that will derive from all of these hotels, all of these cable car, all of this marina and the international airport, all of that will help Clarence in a major way to contribute towards Dominica's growth and development.
Well, Simeon, you're correct. And this is the type of things you don't hear on the other side. And sometimes I tell myself, I ask myself, when you listen to those guys, they're giving the world the impression that all of Dominica are imbeciles. They don't read. They don't think. Somebody listening in, a student listening in St. Lucia and hearing those guys talking, simple Google, make a simple Google. Contribution of agriculture to GDP.
Yeah.
And then they will see, but they said, but what those guys talking about? And Simeon,
yeah.
We have to understand, as the minister says, as we always said, agriculture is starting at zero in 2018.
Right.
In 2018, when January 1st, 2018, agriculture was at zero. Not any agriculture, everything, dashing, everything, cocoa, citrus, coconut, everything was gone.
Yeah.
And then you had to reshape and redo, and then the government pumped in a lot of money. So now we can produce our own cocoa. So we stop importing cocoa.
Yeah.
Coconuts, look at coconuts now. Everything. Simeon,
you know,
they brought in the Brazilian, how do you call it, the Brazilian dwarf. Brazilian dwarf nut, right?
Yeah.
That making the jellies and things so.
Very short.
Very short.
Very
Simeon.
short.
And so a lot of work has been done on agriculture. Look at, when about 2 weeks after the hurricane, I went up to see my friend Stanley Fedel in Stu. And when I came there 2 weeks after, and I knew he had all those, about 10,000 birds in about 3 coops or 3 or 4 of them. 10,000, over 10,000 birds producing eggs. And then it come outside and things were really sad. Jeffrey was there. Only 3 chicken, only 3 hens that they had, they saved. Only 3. 10 from 10,000 to 3.
That's after Maria?
Yeah, 2 weeks after Maria.
Wow.
And that is what we had in Dominica and throughout the island. Where people had chicken, everything gone. And today, we are producing eggs, and we are back self-sufficient in eggs.
Yeah.
We don't import eggs in Dominica. This Christmas, I never hear we had a shortage of eggs. Never had a shortage of eggs. This Christmas. Because the government pump money into the poultry, give them pens, pay for them to build their pens, buy the chicks for them, give them feed. I mean, this is what the government has been doing.
So they give them the startup.
Give them the startup.
That they need. And it's a matter now for them now to continue.
To continue.
Yeah.
So when this guy is on radio and then telling the world, giving the world the impression that everything is dead, as though Dominicans are filled with imbecile.
Yeah.
Bro, what is happening? A lot of our young professionals, a lot of our young professionals, medical doctors, engineers, teachers, lawyers, and so on. Young men and women are going into agriculture.
Yeah, indeed. Someone is saying there, Clarence, that sometimes it is good to listen to all sides to make an accurate decision. The opposition opposes everything with no admittedly saying there are good things the government is actually doing. And I do agree with that person that this is one of the reasons why on the next level we have always make it be our business to address a lot of the negative. Because we notice that the UWP, what is left of them, they do not want to see progress in Dominica. They do not want to see anybody do well in this country. Part of their policy is to to damage whatever that is good, try to make things bad for the people with a hope that they can get into power that way. This is one of the reasons why they spend all their time trying to destroy the citizenship by investment program. But yet still they tell you if they get into power, they would rely on it in order to develop Dominica. But Labour is developing Dominica on it. And rather than supporting it, they go out there, and right now, all you hear them saying now is CBI dead. Again, they want it to dead. But by the grace of God, the government has taken steps to make sure. And let's just listen to Prime Minister Skerrit there when he, of course, spoke recently at this event.
Political state in Dominica. As it relates, all the parties coming together, opposition parties coming together. Are you concerned about that?
They've always been together. All opposition elements against this Dominican Labour Party have all worked together against us. There's nothing new. It looks like Joshua is the leader of all the opposition parties in Dominica. So they don't bother with this. It tells you that people feel that the UWP in its present form is so weak and incompetent and indifferent that it needs all the help from other sources to help it fight the Labour Party. So it really reflects badly on the leadership of the UWP that he has to go to a party called the Freedom Party that has not contested election since 2005 to help it win an election in Dominica. And if you do a poll, you'll get 0% of the canvass votes, and that you're going to use a Freedom Party to help you win.
Then play that again.
What's your sense of the political state in Dominica? As it relates, all the parties coming together, opposition parties coming together. Are you concerned about that?
They've always been together. All opposition elements against this Dominican Labour Party have all worked together against us.
Gentlemen, that point, the Prime Minister answered Matt Peltier was very important.
Yeah.
Because these fellas are posing as if Joshua is from a different, maybe he come out French Antilles, and then, how you call him, Sticky Finger, come out from maybe America where he was until obviously everything go bad with him there. He come back Dominica after he finished Kill the Das, to see if he can get Dominica to save his life. And
they some of them Joshua Johnson Boston, politically the longest serving general secretary of the Freedom Party, believe Freedom Party has a chance in Dominica.
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with Boston trying to keep hope alive. I mean, that's cool. It's cool if you have your commitment to the party you believe in, you want to keep hope alive. Continue to keep hope alive. That's not a problem. Nothing wrong with that. But to pretend as if they're coming together now, or they're attempting to come together because they're not together. We must never forget what the Calypsonian told us after going to the last delegates conference we had. They should not use the word united. Palobilesa, the man felt the atmosphere as it was at the time. There was nothing in there that made him feel as if there was anything about UWP that was united. So even if they have a name registered as United Workers' Party, the man cautioned them that they should, for the time being, leave out the word united. Because there is nothing about them that united. So, yes, there is an attempt by Joshua Francis, who want to try to now find his way back into politics. Joshua is trying to see if he can make a comeback. And he trying to pose around the place, you know, as if he is suitable to come and lead and take Dominica. And as the Prime Minister said, Joshua Francis look like he's trying to lead all of them. But the reality is, there is nothing about them that is different, Clarence. It's like they all are part of the same UWP.
Yep.
For a number of years, they stuck together in the UWP. They got defeated by the Labour Party on numerous occasions, to the point where they started breaking apart and trying to form their own little political party there, and their own little political party there, their own little quasi-pressure group there. Now they're trying to see if they can pull themselves back together. But there was nothing about them that was different. It is the same guys. It is the same Joshua Francis that Edison James and them and UWP had called their court case with him in Newtown, where they judge him according to Edison. The court is the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and what's the other court they have? Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
They had all of it there one time on him, the same night, Carissa, where they judged him and they felt he was not suitable. Joshua Francis was not suitable because there was a lot of question marks on Joshua Francis. And people must not forget the episodes, the number of episodes that Joshua had, you know, that caused him not to be a politician today. Why he could no longer win Roseau South. Why the people of Roseau South had no confidence in him. So he can come with his fancy footwork and he can try to talk his talk. But we know that he have a piece of madness that does take him. And when he take him, his fancy dropping, his cutlass he pulling, his all kind of thing he pulling, family running, you know. And so, I mean, the man have his own issues to deal with. So to come there and pretend like as if suddenly they can come and fix Dominica's problem is something else. Let me play this other one there of the Prime Minister as he spoke at that important thing there.
I'll tell you one thing about Thompson Fountain. This guy said that he was in the line at the supermarket.
I was just about probably 2 persons behind the person that was cashing. And I noticed that they were setting aside some of what they had brought in to the counter. And I looked a little bit more closely and I realized that they were putting aside some cans of sardines and some, I think it was some carnation or something like that. Probably a person that was thinking of having some warm milk tonight for dinner, but could not.
And he said that somebody told him that it's happening so often at supermarkets that the supermarkets are saying that they have to employ people just to pack those items back.
In some supermarkets, they have somebody, literally pay somebody to replace people, the amount of people that are leaving stuff now at the counters, to take it back, to put it on the shelves.
Yeah. Now, here it is, you are an aspiring leader of a country. A lady is in front of you.
A person that was thinking of having some warm milk tonight for dinner, but could not.
You say you were making big money overseas. And you're telling me, Matt, that Thompson couldn't pay the $25 extra for your lady so they could go home with the items?
Talking about basic items that they could leave off.
I mean, if I am in the line and I see a lady who has to put back items, sometimes you go in your car and you take $20 and when you check it's $250 you have to pay for the supermarket, so you put back items. It doesn't mean that the person doesn't have the money to pay. And so instead the person go in her car or go to the ATM and withdraw, she just put the items back. But I would never allow the lady to go without this pound of milk or the extra tin of milk and so on. I'll pay the whole thing for the lady. But these guys don't care. So they don't mind as long as they belly full. Then they help the rest. The rest can starve.
Yeah, and you know,
Clarence, go ahead.
Thompson has no shame. These are politicians that have no shame. You see a lady putting back a tin of milk or a tin of sardine, Papa Bondier.
Sardine, right?
A tin of sardine or 2 tins of sardine. I can never be in. I'm not into the politics. But so many times somebody would say, boy, I don't have enough. Even $1 up to $1, $2. The person really came there, but they can afford to pay it, but they do not have the money on them. You tell the person, look at 50 cents, look the $2, look the $5, pay for it. And you an aspiring leader, you see somebody in front of you. According to him.
According to one of the people that was listening to him, only. So, but yeah, Fountain, after seeing a scenario like that, you come in there and say this is a person that got their home and wanted to drink a cup of hot tea and couldn't drink it. But what did you do? The question is, you, Fountain, wants to lead this country. You were present, because Clarence, I have had numerous occasions where I went to a supermarket, a restaurant, and I have met people. It's not that they do not have money, but like some of us, we go for one item in the supermarket, and when we come back, we have a whole trolley in the wall. Because the truth is, you see other things that you know you didn't come there for it, but you realize, boy, I need that. And then when you get to the cashier tell you, well, you're short of, you know, $5 or $1, whatever. Sometimes it's nothing much. And in a lot of cases, I have encountered a lot of people like that. And as soon as I realize what the concern is, I just tell them I will handle that. I just tell the cashier I will take that, let the person cash it in, you know.
Typically, Dominicans will behave like that.
And that to me is the first thing that comes to my mind. I have never had an occasion where I saw a person, no matter how much money, little money I had in my pocket at the time, but I could always afford to take care of the little thing, because I never wanted the person to put back the thing and go back and then they have to come back. But Fountain is saying he actually witnessed a case like that. And he's telling that to people, you know.
Yeah, you don't have the shame.
Without the conscience to know that he should go and sleep better, knowing that the person had a cup of tea and that he made it possible. It reminds me of the scenario with Mr. Grove in the Soufriere constituency, when Sticky Finger Fountain and Isaac Baptiste, his second in command, went up to the home of Mr. Grove during the by-election, the very by-election that they called the judgment on Joshua Francis and fired him from the UWP. Fountain and Isaac Baptiste went there at Mr. Grove's home, and they saw Mr. Grove's situation where his roof was leaking. Promise him that they would come and put galvanized on his roof and cover it for him if he voted for them. They make a GoFundMe. A whole year after we finding out that Sticky Finger and them have a GoFundMe for Mr. Grove. And they didn't give the man the money. They forget about the man and his roof that leaking. Not only that, you know, but Fountain and them had the guts to take pictures of the man liquor pot where he cooking his food and everything like that and post it on social media in order to make political mileage out of it. Because that's what he was trying to do there, you know. He was trying to give people the impression that things are so bad
in Dominica.
You know, that not even people, they have to get people to go back and pack groceries. That means they have to employ somebody specifically because he tried to say it happening so often. He's just a blasted liar. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Fountain is just a shameless, stupid kind of a man. And the Grand Four people must not check Mister. Can you remember when he came on radio and say about the Grand Four, the young fellas in Grand Four asking for guns to shoot Chinese and Haitians?
Yeah, he made that statement.
Yes.
Yes.
I was so mad because I can't understand who says he wants to be a leader of a country to be repeating those kind of things. He's a sick man, you know? And if he sends me the groceries, I myself are paupers. If I go to a supermarket and somebody in front of me and they're missing something and I can do it, I do it for them. Nonsense. The Fountain. Let him go and put back the that one, Kodimam.
Yes.
Good night.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you know, and so it's ridiculous that he goes to a meeting, use that as an example, you know, and at the end of the day, he never tell them that I helped the person.
I helped the lady. That's what you would expect him to say.
You know,
I had to help the lady with a $20,
Yeah.
a $5,
So
a
he-
$10.
So with all the thousands of dollars he claimed to have been making and all what he was working for and wherever he come out in South Sudan there, upa sign the yomun. Not even when you meet them in a critical condition like that. And let me just remind people what Mr. Grove had told us about Thompson and Isaac Baptist. I think I have that
I
there.
was doing an investigation
Yeah.
and saw where your photograph of your property and stuff was online. Yeah, they tell me all that happened, and I didn't know they do that too. They did that to me. People that tell me about it. This fountain and they never come and see you. No. The only time they came to me, that was the time of the by election. They come and tell me, hey, yeah, you will do this radio. I said, yes. So that is because they take on that picture and they do whatever they do there. But I really actually they start doing the donation, but I don't know something about that. So I only know about it. Who spoke to you at the by-election? Was it Fountain or? I was Thompson Fountain, and I think the guy or the other guy from Cathedral. That is Isaac Baptist. Yes. And then they tell me, oh, we'll give you some Galvina, but I never see Galvina. They tell me, make sure they bring it from the Friday. But to work for them, this and that, I tell them, well, my solution is to work for them as well. Right.
So, Carissa, you hear that? So they promised the man that they will bring the Galvanas for him by the Friday of the week. After posting him a picture on social media, you know. So these fellas are not ready to lead Dominica. Thompson Fountain is looking for Dominica to save him. And I want to ask him a couple questions tonight. You know, Sticky Finger, I want to ask you those questions there. Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you the holder of a U.S. passport? Are you the holder of a green card? Are you the holder of a B1 visa? You hear all them questions asking him? Because I want to know what Linton know about you when he said to your delegates, when they first elected you as the leader of the party, and he warned them about something he know about you, Fountain, that other people didn't know. And I have been thinking, that have been on my mind from since the first time you were elected. I am trying to get into Linton's mind to know what Linton know that we don't know. So I want to ask Sticky Finger, because I understood he just traveled to the US and he come and talk about he get in the airport and like as if the airport didn't have nobody in it. You see that man, they always want to try to beat up our country.
You mean Douglas Chaz?
The man say he went to Douglas Chaz.
So he alone traveled on the plane?
Like the plane was empty, the whole place was empty, there was nobody. You know? No, he traveled to the US. I don't know what business he have in the US, but anyway, he traveled there. But he giving all them story there, you know. But he never say he encountered any problem while making entry in the United States. Oh, no. With all what that going on, he's a citizen of Dominica. But I never hear him say, well, when I got to the airport, you know, the immigration called me on the side and they were asking me questions because of my visa or because of whatever, or the card or the whatever. I never, it seems like he traveled from Dominica and he had a straight entry into the United States. It's a problem.
No problem whatsoever.
So it seems like there is not a problem for him. So I want to know, what travel documents did you use, Sticky Finger Fountain? Was it a green card, or are you a U.S. citizen? Are you carrying an American passport? And you can tell us, you know, because we'll find out. Because somebody actually messaged me some time back to tell me that Fountain may well be a U.S. citizen from the information that the person gave me. And I say that to say that, you know, the UWP tried to put us through hells about dual citizenship. They bring our Prime Minister in the High Court as the Prime Minister of Dominica, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so much so, the UWP wanted our Prime Minister to be their first witness. They had no evidence. But they wanted to put our Prime Minister on the stand. To be their witness, to incriminate himself in a matter where they bring it before the court. I never forget Mr. Ron Green was a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, he was. Earl Williams was a British citizen. All the time he was minister, he had a British passport.
And them man tried to put so much pressure on the Labour Party that they caused Ron Green to revoke his citizenship. The man was a U.S. citizen. We didn't worry about that. We were not paying any attention to that. You come to serve your country, you come to serve your country. Rosie Douglas used to say he had 5 passports on the platform.
Yeah. And he was Prime Minister.
I don't know if you ever heard him, Carissa, but
yeah.
I hear Rosie Douglas say he have 5 passports. That means he have 5 citizenships. You understand? But I want to ask Sticky Finger tonight. You know, is he the holder of a U.S. passport, a U.S. citizen? Why we made this entry into the U.S. with no problem? And he crying about America put a ban. He's the one I heard on the radio say there is a ban on Dominican citizens. But you were able to enter easy. And I know you don't have a diplomatic passport. So this is a question for you. And I suspect Lennox Hinton will eventually maybe tell us what he know. Because obviously you can tell that the Linton and Edison and others have pulled themselves away from their support for Sticky Finger Fountain. That is one of the reasons why at the last delegates conference they did not accept any position in Fountain so-called party. And so I want to know what is his standing in relation to that. And I also want to know if that is what Lennox knew or know about Fountain, why he told the delegates at the conference that there are things he know that they don't know. And I know Lennox Hinton was one of the guys who was adamant that if you have dual citizenship, you are not fit and proper to serve as a leader in this country, Clarence.
Well, Simeon, I do not know, but I never took something, but somebody told me, I was in Grenada, and somebody, a friend of mine who studied together with me at UVI, we did our first degree together, and told me the no Thompson Fountain at the IMF. And then he was married to a St. Lucian. So it may very well be that St. Lucian was a U.S. citizen who must have filed for him or whatever the case may be, and then subsequently he became a citizen. I do not know. I do not know that, but the person told me he knew Thompson Fountain very well, and he's from Grenada, and then he was married to a St. Lucian.
Right.
So it may very well be a speculation that this St. Lucian must have been a citizen of the U.S. who could have filed for him and eventually get to be a citizenship, or he has a green card, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I do not know.
Yeah. Well, we know.
I am not saying that I do not know. I have no idea. But that has always been coming up.
Somebody,
even if you don't know, but you can ask that
somebody is saying here that Sticky Finger Fountain do not need a U.S. visa to travel to the U.S. Well, if you don't need a visa, I mean, he either have a green card or he have a passport. So I want those people that know outside there, all text me, message me, because I want to know how is it that he traveling so freely to the U.S. And then I really want to know what Lennox Hinton knows. I suspect is the Lennox Hinton was going with what he knew, because I mean we knew about the DAS. We knew about the mismanagement of the DAS. We have exploited that a lot, and we will continue to present it to the Dominican public so they know the type of person that Fountain is, and why he is not suitable to lead this country. Why Dominicans should not follow his direction. The man is a total failure, and we will examine him further at our next program. But Clarence, it's already 2 minutes before the hour of 11 o'clock, and we have to make our way out there. But indeed, gentlemen, I believe tonight the Minister for Agriculture did justice in his presentation here on the program tonight, because the criticism that was levied on the ministry and agriculture on a whole in Dominica. So much so that the WP saying we're not even shipping $1 million worth of agriculture now, because they're claiming like as if nothing is happening. But actually you can hear from the minister that we well pretty close to 300
it's something $1 million from to GDP.
You know, right now, and the plan is to push it. And as he said earlier on this evening, some $200 million, you know, have been really pushed into the sector to help with the growth and expansion and development of this sector. So we will no doubt examine Sticky Finger further, but I believe tonight this information was excellent. And as he said, the ministry will be setting up a website where the people who wish to apply for the leasing of the land will be able to so do on Friday, hopefully, as he said, very soon. They will make an announcement with regard to that. But Clarence, your closing remarks before I leave.
Yes, I mean, I think we have to deal with that. It's a shame that a political party can give the world the impression that Dominicans are all imbeciles, foolish people, to be able to be going on a radio station and just bad talking your country like this way. I mean, we can play our politics. We can, but bring the facts. Stop this, all this anecdotal data. Get the empirical data. It is available. You have persons in you. I mean, I know so-so has a first degree in management. I mean, all the information is available within reach on your phone and things so. Get the empirical data and analyze the empirical data. You can twist it if you want and how you want. But give people empirical. Don't stop this thing of your mind and say nothing is happening, agriculture is dead and things so. When the results is there, all the things are there to see. The amount of money the government has been pumping in agriculture, in fisheries, in livestock, in whatever the case may be. Government is pumping. People making money in agriculture. Young people, young engineers, lawyers, architects are getting into agriculture. The people with university degrees. Nowadays, Simeon, those young fellas don't even have to be there to irrigate their thing. If they're in Guadeloupe or in St. Lucia or in Jamaica, they put on their water when it's ready and they turn it off when it's ready. This is the type of things we have in Dominica. And for you to be there saying, oh, agriculture is dead and things so, and when all the reports saying from 2018 agriculture started and we have almost surpassed where we were in 2016 in agriculture contribution to GDP. And then you're talking, fooling the people and talking a whole lot of. Let us make, if you want to beat the Labour Party, let us make this thing an education.
Right.
Educate your people. Do like how we doing. Educate our people. Not come in with those type of nastiness and anecdotal data and something from your head. You feel you can take something from your head. Come on, let us educate the Dominican population, because that's what the government is doing.
Yes, I.
And that is what we're doing here, educating the people.
Thank you, Clarence. Carissa?
Yeah, well, Simeon, I just want to continue to encourage young people to go out there and take advantage of that opportunity. It's a major opportunity to access land at $1 per acre per year. And you can get up to 5 acres of land. I think that's a very good opportunity, and we want to encourage the young people to take advantage of it. On the lighter side, Simeon, I would like to tell all Dominicans that if you are standing in a line and somebody is in front of you buying a lick of milk, sometimes the milk might be for like a baby. Do not go about and have it to play political mileage out of it. Let us just pay for the milk for the persons, so that at least the baby will get the milk. You understand?
Yes.
So just on a lighter side. Just on the lighter side.
Yeah, I quite agree with you, and thank you, Carissa, thank you, Clarence, and thank you to all the many listeners. Thank you to all of you who, of course, join us on the Facebook page. We always, on the Carrier FM Next Level page, we always appreciate your comments, and you know, you always joining us, and quite a bit of discussion going on among you all there. 277 comments during the program. So quite a bit of exchange always takes place while we have this program. So we want to thank you all for continuing to be the defenders on social media, because what we do is very important in standing up and defending our country. We are living in crucial times where if we do not defend, these negative talks can continue to travel very far and wide. And so it's important that all of us put our heads together. And remember, the confirmation process, just as a reminder, is ongoing. And so remember to work with your ID and have a witness, because some people still don't know that they have to have a witness. You know, some people calling me and telling me they didn't know that. But we're saying that all the time, but we have to keep saying it anyway. Remember to have a witness, someone who is voting in the polling district where you are voting, and also have an ID, both yourself and the person, while you go and have yourself confirmed on the list. You know, we do not know the hour when election will be called, but you want to know that when the end of this period of 1 year has arrived, that your name can be counted as a labor right to be able to continue to support and vote and defend and stand for what we are building for the future generation of this country. Now is not a time to lapse or to say it's time to give another man a chance. There is nothing currently there that you can give another man a chance with, that he can come there and continue. Not the international airport, not the cable car, not the marina, not the investment that going on in agriculture, or what we see currently going on in tourism. Any other, all them fellas that running them out outside there, all they would want to come there and do is shut down everything, like they're so good at shutting down things, and then the people of the country will be the one that will pay the high price. Just in the very same way as the IMF had forewarned them when they were running the country, that if they went with their so-called plan they had, that it would bring around serious difficulty and hardship on the people of this country. So good night again. God bless you all. And as I leave you all, I leave with this song. If you are not on the labor train, then you better get on it. But before I play this one, let me give my partner Carissa there with, you know, that just launched the Kokioko. Monsieur, good night. God bless you all.
The pen came back with a rooster from America. As the bully reached, he began to preach. Any cock with crow, he covering them. He tackling dog, he tackling cat, he tackling anything. Even some jackass surrender to him. Now the Venezuelan cop suddenly get caught. He chicken coop mad, no paper in the yard. And they're singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You're striking so hard, no pity for she backyard, Lord. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoot, shoot. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoot, shoot. Oh, tell the hen, we don't want this, we don't want this. This never in the yard. Oh, Milado. The Bajan hen started to bawl. Oh, she just stand this rooster fall. Because of his bite, he think he right, and taking advantage is his delight. The rooster insists anyone resist, it will be catastrophic. And the penalty, just get rid of him. All them little cock-a-doodoo can't even say shoo. Cause they go regret if they get the rooster upset. And we singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You're striking so hard, no pity for she backyard, Lord. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoot, shoot. us. Now he start to squeeze us. Shoo, shoo, oh, tell the hen, we don't want this. We don't want this. This never in the yard. Oh, Milado. The Russian cock checking the scene, waiting for a chance to intervene. While the Chinese cock sitting on the fence, spreading the wings, just seeking influence. North Korea cock is a bigger threat, they're tackling us yet. Little do you know, he is the rooster's pet. This hypocrisy for me, I cannot condone. So they should leave the Venezuelan cock alone. And we singing, get out of the yard, rooster, get out of the yard. All act of aggression should cease. What we want is peace. You strike it so hard, no pity for she backyard. Tell the hen from Trinidad, get the rooster out of the yard. Shoo, shoo. Now he start to beat us, now he start to squeeze us. Shoo, shoo, oh, tell the hen, we don't want this. We don't want this. This never in the yard. No Milado. Oh, mama. Deba, deba.
Up to now, you don't respond to one as yet. Sometimes leaders taking blows. When you are the problem, I propose calling private sector boss of government. Never ever make your gatekeeper permanent.